What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in to the PWTorch WWE Extreme Rules Torchcast. We are watching Extreme Rules, folks. Kicking back, watching the show. Apologies for the delay. Had a little bit of a technical issue, if you will. So we're a little bit late here, but I've had the show on and not surprised at all that this match, the 6-man tag Imperium against the Brawling Brutes, is starting things off. I like that call. I think it's what I would have predicted. So good to see it happening. And Sheamus just took a lashing of chops, Gunther level chops, and my goodness gracious. that was painful. I want to know for everyone that's watching, and thanks to everybody for being here. If you don't mind, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and want to hear from you guys all night long. We will be here. We have a handful of different guests that are set to join the show, and we'll get to them soon. But let me know your thoughts on the show, and glad you're here. Dr. Ross, hello. Everybody else who's here now, hello, and thank you for being here. I need to know, Dr. Ross, while you're in the chat there, I gotta know, what move would you rather take? 6 Gunther chops to the chest, or the death match spot head spiking thing? I need to know. Tracy, what's going on? Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Hello. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend and enjoying Extreme Rules. I know you're not always a WWE viewer, but glad you're here with us tonight. Man, I'll tell you, Butch. Oh man, I think Pete Dunne is so good that he's gotten this Butch thing over, and he even got it over in a Vince McMahon WWE. Well, I don't want to over dramatize it. I don't want to over dramatize it, but hey, the guy's just supremely talented, and he can do anything. And he really bought into this Butch thing. Is there a third option, Dr. Ross? No, man. There's not a third option. You got to pick one of the two. I'm taking the chops, because there's just no way I'm jamming those little spiky things into my head. Like I'm not. Like, I know that I can recover from chops. It's gonna hurt like hell, but I can recover from them. And the spiky things, I don't know, just it scares the bejesus out of me, if you will. Where do you think Sheamus is going to go? Because I think that's like a big kind of question here. As I watch this match, it's like, man, the guy's had when Michael Cole runs down when he runs down everything that Sheamus has done, and you look at a spot right here where he's kind of flipping everything over, and the crowd is behind him, you just have this feeling of like, this guy had a hell of a career. Like, he really had a hell of a career. But is he tapped out as far as like, this is the highest it's going to go? Oh, this is good. This is good stuff. Gunther and Sheamus just staring each other down outside of the ring to the inside of the ring. And now Sheamus is coming in. God, look at his chest. I may need to rethink that, what I just said, for real. Azan, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're in the chat. Glad you're joining us tonight. Very much appreciate it. Seth for Sheamus at some point. Yeah, that'd be good. I think that would make sense. Post draft, perhaps. These two have just such great chemistry. I don't mean to cut you off there, Hazan, but they just have like super good chemistry. Like, I mean, look at these guys. I just feel like they've got the crowd eating out of the palm of their hands. All right. I'm drinking a Steve Austin Broken Skull American Lager tonight. I like the IPAs better. But hey, such is life. It is what it is. So why are these two teams fighting? Delta. Well, I mean, Sheamus, and if you haven't been watching WWE for a while, Sheamus and Gunther have had a 5-star match at Clash of the Castle, and then they've just gone back and forth their teams, and so now they're paying it off with a good old Donnybrook brawl fight. Oh, and then now you got the Brawling Brute spot. Oh, I like it. I like that stuff. So yeah, so that's why the two teams are fighting. Delta, have you not watched WWE for a while? Is that why? You're not sure about that? Because I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting. I kind of want to break that down, if so, because it's just interesting if fans are coming back like you are and like Tracy is, like she just said here. I said I would give WWE another shot after all these years, and this is good so far. So Tracy, is this your very first is this your first WWE pay-per-view in years? Like, in how many? I mean, is this the first one, or have you been watching Raw and SmackDown? I'm curious about that. Let me know, because I think that's super interesting, because it's happening. Because something is happening. Because look, you've got ratings increasing for WWE, Monday Night Football aside, and so that tells me that somebody's intrigued by people coming back and checking the product out. And so I'm curious if it was this pay-per-view in particular that did it, or something else. Delta, it's been a couple years on a regular basis, to be honest. The last show I watched was SummerSlam because it was in my home state. All right, that makes sense. But you didn't see Gunther versus Sheamus then from Clash at the Castle. You got to see that match, man. I mean, WWE fan or not, that match is solid no matter where you're watching it. Let's just put it that way. Man, okay. Wow. All right. So I'm 52 and I haven't watched since the days of women in lingerie and Vince making women bark. Yeah, that's not a good time in WWE. No question. Doesn't hold up well at all. And frankly, it wasn't good when it happened either. So yeah, Tracy, can't blame you on that one. But glad you're back. I think you may be surprised. And I'm curious, keep the comments coming, because I'm curious as to what your take is on this when it's all said and done. Once again, guys, this is the PWTorch Torchcast for WWE Extreme Rules. For everybody who's just joining us, thank you for being here. Very much appreciate it. We will be here all night breaking down the show. I want your comments in the chat. I want you to subscribe to our channel, and we'll have some special guests along the way to help us just kind of have a blast and hang out and have a couple cold beverages if that's what you want. And we'll go from there. Anybody else beer drinkers in the group? Because if so, like what's your fancy as far as style of beer? Azan, that was a little weird. That was weird. I noticed that too. Why was there a rope break? I mean, it's just one of those things where, inconsistent rules, and it's gonna drive some people crazy, including myself. The striking that these two have done. I mean, look, they had a match yesterday. And now they're out here doing the same darn thing. It's pretty unbelievable. Delta, I like the Ambers. I'm a big fan of the Ambers, actually. I don't really have a favorite, though. As strange as that sounds, I'm a big IPA person. So, call me a sucker. I love these spots and matches where both teams have fought each other so much and so bad that they just kind of collectively get back up and lean on each other to get back up and then attack the team again. That happened in War Games, I think, multiple times in NXT, and every time it gets me. It really does. So, man, this has been a pretty good match. This has been a pretty good match. Wine and seltzer, Azan, what is your seltzer of choice? There's so many now. There's so many seltzers now. Table time. Who called it? who called it? Who had 21 minutes into Extreme Rules for the first table, the first table bump? And it looks like, yeah, wow, it's gonna be Kaiser that either takes the bump or gives the bump. Yeah, there is. Yeah, good call, Tracy. Yep, there's a lot of mirroring moves, and yeah, I think Kaiser's going through that table. I think he drew the short stick as far as that goes. Oh goodness. Off the Cracker Barrel barrels. I'm surprised Nick Khan didn't get those sponsored. I am surprised that they didn't get those things sponsored. I mean, AEW even did back in the day. I don't know if it was All Out or All In. It might have been All In, where they had the little. I think they had like a Cracker Barrel brawl or something crazy like that. So, yeah, I'm surprised Nick Khan wants to sponsor everything. So, yeah. I'm texting some of our guests here, guys, right now, and we will hopefully get them on here after this match. And the Chalet again, not again. Oh, that's a good near fall. That's a good near fall. I'll take that. I will take that. I will take that. Let's see here. Join us. So when you guys are watching this has been a really good brawl, by the way, Delta. Appreciate that. Appreciate the comments and sticking with us. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Yeah, it has been a good brawl. I'm not surprised though, to be completely honest. I expected this thing to be pretty darn good, and I think up to this point it it has been. I think it's lived up to the hype. I remember Cracker Barrels. Ouch! Like ouch, as in like you don't like them, Tracy, anymore. Dr. Ross with a low blow on Ridge Holland. I'm enjoying a Ridge Holland match, but seemed unlikely just a few months ago. Yeah, true though. True. You know, he's faded into the background, but I think that's a good thing. Oh, that is a bump and a half. The Cracker Barrel Biscuit Club? What in the blazes is that? I'm curious. Now we're getting the big brawl. Now we are getting that the shillelaghs. Repeated shillelaghs, I guess. Wow. My goodness gracious. Oops. Man, oh man. Does anybody have the GCW stream on? Oh, wow, I was wrong. Sheamus putting Gunther through the table. Crowd absolutely loving it. Man, this is some good stuff, yeah? Yeah. I mean, look, Azan, I think you bring up a really good point here. Like, Gunther, like, if you remember him on the indies, right? He was just an imposing figure. Just like just so compelling because of his size and his body type. And there we go. Sheamus and the Brawling Brutes get the win. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Gunther's physique has changed in WWE, where he's slimmed down. He's gotten like just super cut up. And I mean, I think you can look at that and go, okay, well, you know, he doesn't have that special look to him anymore. But I mean, it's hard to argue with the look, because he looks like $1 million. He can still move out there. He's still menacing. He can still bring it when it comes to, you know, matches and being as stiff as he's known for being. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Now for this finish, this is the way to go. I mean, this was really, I don't know. In a lot of ways, it was the only way to go. Just because of the fact that Sheamus lost yesterday. And if you want Sheamus to continue to be, hovering around Gunther, hovering around the Intercontinental title, if you want him to be a guy who is going to flirt with, your main events perhaps, or have a match with Seth Rollins, as Azan pointed out earlier, like you gotta give this group wins. You got to give them a chance to be something. And I thought last night on SmackDown, it was the right call to not give him the Intercontinental Championship. It would have been pretty like, given the circumstances, the season premiere, it would have been pretty enticing for Paul Levesque to go with Sheamus, just to get the big crowd pop. I said that on the post show, the Wake Up Pro Wrestling post show. I was filling in for Wade last night, and it just seemed to me that was the right call, 1,000%, to not do that. And I think he made good and got them the win over today. So really good match, though. Really good match. Dr. Ross, I think you hit the nail on the head there, my friend. Like, it's it's just one of those, hey, like, the crowd's hot. You got a good you have a good group of talent, and that's over, and a feud that's over, and a style that I think people are very much attached to. Like, I'm just not surprised. Dr. Ross, were you surprised that the crowd was as hot for this? Because I'm curious about that, because I think that it was, to me, it was pretty expected that was how this was going to go. So good match, really good match. What do we think is going to be next, guys? What do we think is going to be next here? I kind of think we're looking at Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. Perhaps that's my prediction. I don't know that for sure, obviously, but once again, let's just take care of some business here. This is the PWTorch WWE Extreme Rules Torchcast for Saturday, October 8th, 2022. I'm PWTorch Assistant Editor Zack Heydorn here, and I'll be here with you throughout the show. It's just been a blast to do for lots of different events, and here we are again, and we have some special guests joining us from PWTorch.com and from Fightful. We'll have a vast array of other folks joining us tonight to kind of break down this show. So fair enough, Dr. Ross. I think I was hopeful it would be, but not quite Cardiff, but a strong reaction. Yeah, and I think that's right where that's the sweet spot, right? Like, I don't think the expectations for them or for Paul Levesque or anybody really watching should have been, oh well, hopefully they can get hotter than Cardiff, because that was kind of a once in a lifetime type moment where you got Sheamus, you've got the IC title on the line. They're in Cardiff, they're in Europe, they're in the UK. So, I don't think you could have expected that. And so yeah, they got a good reaction for what they were working for. So I think that's important. Here we go with Miz. I want to hear what Miz has to say here. Let's see, what is he up to? Oh, do we have it? Do we have a Dexter Lumis appearance or some kind of torturing? Oh, what is this guy's name? The Flyer? Is he Philly the Flyer or something like that? This is a popular mascot. This is well played. Man, if I gave you guys the over-under, what are the odds that's Gunther in there? He doesn't really act that Grizzy. That's it. Thank you. He doesn't really act like those mannerisms are not Dexter Lumis mannerisms, but I think it'd be pretty funny if that were to be a thing. Okay, let's see. Let's check in on our guests once again and see it if anybody's ready to join us. Am my prediction right? I don't know. We haven't seen it. We haven't found out yet. I mean, if this this is very much a Paul Levesque theme song, right? I mean, come on. Oh, guys, look at this. Look at this. I'm on fire. I am on fire. Fire, fire, fire. Dr. Ross, you have a plus 650 bet on tonight? You need Balor, the Brutes, Kross, Riddle, and Rousey all to win. Wow. Man, can you just tell me how much money is on the line? How much did you risk? Is it over $10? That's a pretty good bet, though. It's a pretty good bet. I predicted all of those winners too. I don't have anything at plus 650, but shit, I think that's a pretty darn good bet. Marcus, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. Good evening. What do you think of that first match? I thought it was pretty. We all thought it was pretty darn good. So yeah, but thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Okay, that's good. But you're gonna get a nice little payout if that hits. You're 1 for 1 so far, Dr. Ross. So thumbs up. That's good that your husband is enjoying it. Very casual fan. Does he watch any other wrestling casually or only WWE? But how could you not? I mean, that's the thing. How can you not like that match? Like, I really don't know. I really don't know how you could not like that opening match, because it was compelling. It was action packed. The crowd was into it. Good spots. So I think it was. Hopefully he continues to like the show as well. Thank you, Tracy. Delta, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, this has been fun. It's been cool. We're gonna keep it up for all the WWE pay-per-views that are on the horizon. So thank you for being with us. And yeah, definitely jump on in later as you watch the show. If you've got time, come on back and subscribe to our channel if you're able. We really would appreciate that. Thank you, Delta. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about Azan's comment here. Ronda Rousey, right? I mean, I think Azan here is correct in that she doesn't feel as special as she used to feel. And, I feel like that's for a couple reasons. One of which is she came back, and I don't know about you guys, but I just never thought that she I never thought that she felt like she actually wanted to be back. Like she was back, but I don't know. I just never got the sense that she had any oomph behind being back. Like she was just around and payday, and then she was working Charlotte too. She's working Charlotte, and and that can only go so far. I don't think we saw her have any great matches. They weren't bad, but they weren't special. And so I think between kind of her demeanor when she started and the fact that she worked with Charlotte and then kind of dropped down to work with Liv, it's like she hasn't really been given the same type of moments that she was given before, and she wasn't working with as over of talent. So yeah, Dr. Ross, you're right. She did have a bad attitude. She did, and you could sense it. You could sense that she was like, "Yeah, I'm back," but am I really back? I'm really back? Holy crap! I don't know that I want to do this anymore. And yeah, that's the feeling. And so now she's. She was champion. She lost. She has done this little small piece of business with Liv Morgan that I don't think has been particularly effective. And I talked about that on the Fireside Chat, the flagship show this week on YouTube, and just didn't feel like she had that special feeling to her. And I don't think she's helping to make Liv Morgan either. And so, the thing is, and I'm rambling here, I understand that, and I apologize, but I think this match can actually be pretty good. I think this can be a compelling match because it's Extreme Rules. Like Liv Morgan does not have to have like a mat classic. She doesn't have to work in the ring. She can just have this brawl type match, and that can hide a lot of issues in the ring. And Ronda Rousey is so raw in there anyway, and has such a special style that I think it would not go along well with Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan needs, A to B type stuff for her to be like supremely successful in the ring. And Ronda Rousey just doesn't work that way. She's not that experienced either. And so this, I think, is the best scenario for these two to have this match. So who do you think's going to win? I took Ronda. I took Ronda Rousey. What do you guys think? Is there any chance Liv Morgan wins here? Not a great reaction for Liv Morgan. Nothing great there. Metal, thank you so much for being here, man. Metal Brand, appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you back. All right, and then without further ado, for this match, we will bring on our first of many special guests tonight on the PWTorch WWE Extreme Rules Torchcast. Brian Zellum from PWTorch.com. Welcome on in, Brian. Appreciate you here, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. We got a good group hanging out in the chat, and glad to have you here for the women's SmackDown Championship match. And you're our first guest of the day, first of many. So glad you could be on. We were talking Ronda Rousey before you kind of hopped on here, and where are you at on her? Like, where are you at on her and like her over level and kind of just what her run has been like since coming back at the Royal Rumble?
Man, it's been kind of a failure, hasn't it? That vibe when she was first, like that vibe that she had in WrestleMania is never coming back. Like that's out of the bottle. And I don't know if it's like her approach, demeanor towards like her presentation, the fans, because out of anybody, Ronda would have say so of like how she's going to present herself, her dialogue, her script, the whole kit caboodle.
Mm-hmm.
Like she is just one of those people. Whoever she's had a program against, she just looks uncomfortable. Where the best, I guess, facial expression I can give you to analyze how she's delivering dialogue, she kind of looks like she's constipated and uncomfortable. Like, I don't get it why. Like, I mean, she's the baddest woman on the planet, allegedly. That's what we've been told since she's been in WWE.
She could easily be that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, she could easily, break several arms. I mean, shit, she could probably break our arms very easily if she wanted to.
Without question. Are you
kidding
me? I wouldn't last 2 seconds with her.
It's just, I don't understand it. The basic logic on how to improve her is been there since day one. Freaking put her with Paul Heyman and call it a day. I don't understand why that's so difficult. Where also, I think there's this weird level of layer. I don't know what she is. Is she a face? Is she a heel? They tried to protect, like putting her in a feud with Charlotte Flair did not help her. But the entire Rumble was really bad. She should have never won that at all. That was really, really dumb. And I don't want to necessarily blame that as well. But like outside of wrestling, she's kind of like, I'll say it. She's kind of unlikable. She has some particular opinions on things that I don't necessarily believe in. And I don't know if that's had a carryover effect, but she's also made some pretty strong comments of what she thinks about wrestling fans. And WWE fans aren't supposed to be that internet type, but maybe they've been smart enough where it's like, hey, she's kind of said some things about us, so why don't we cheer for her? But this entire feud with Liv Morgan, oh my God, this has just been not good at all. Where I'm to the point where I'm just like, give Ronda the title, because I don't know what else you do with this Zach, and when I've been reviewing the show weekly for PWTorch, I feel like I've been trying to be as fair as possible, and I will express what I like and don't like about the show. And what they're trying to do with Liv right now, they're trying to make her a very unhinged Harley Quinn character, and it absolutely to me sucks.
Ooh.
That was a nice bad shot.
She just kind of left hook smack to the face. Yeah, I mean, look, I think you're right. I mean, I think, like, look, when I look at the situation with Ronda Rousey, it's like, yeah, Paul Heyman would be great. I don't know, the blood. I don't know how she would fit into like the bloodline stuff, but Paul Heyman would be perfect for her. But what is more perfect for her is just being a dang heel. Like, that's it. Like, this idea that she wants to be a babyface. She has like a really interesting personality. It's quirky. It's not likable. And she doesn't really, I don't think she tries to be likable. And yet she wants to be this kind of cheered babyface. It's just like, to me, that has always been tone deaf. As far as that goes. Real quick, I want to go to the chat here. Yeah, so I'm picking up a couple things from this match. One is, Ronda's acting heelish to the crowd. That's interesting. And Ronda, like right there, and Ronda is also, she tossed like the baseball bat thing out of the ring. And so I think that they're trying to establish here, that Ronda is going to like avoid, she's going to want to make sure that Liv does not get, those are the worst baseball bat shots in the history of the business right there. Like, what the heck is that? It looked like she was massaging Liv Morgan's back on those. Those were terrible. Yeah, so I'm rambling, but yeah, go ahead, Brian. I like, Ronda's a heel. I mean, that's obvious, right?
Man, that's what they're trying to do. But I mean, you go back to those SummerSlam reactions. That was the first official, I guess, if you want to say, week that Hunter had officially in charge. And I forget what arena that was in, but I mean, Zach, like, I was just like, oh my God, she's cooked. She's absolutely cooked. Like, and I don't, there's a larger discussion to have, like, how dumb it was for her to not only win the briefcase as a babyface, but to win Money in the Bank title, like, with a roll-up of all things. It's just, and then the debauchery of that really, really short, really bad match at SummerSlam did not help. And I've kind of been waiting to see if Hunter can kind of course correct anything. But I mean, for two things, right? I don't know if this is something he can fix. And
I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
But I haven't really seen him try either, because they're really trying to make Liv like this badass baby face, but that's not what got her over. It was like that, like, underneath spunky, like, baby face. It's not that difficult.
Well, no, it's not. And like, that's the thing. It's like, what got her to the dance? Well, what got her to the dance was that people, just got invested in her, like, because she was likable, because a lot of us have seen her journey from nothing in NXT to where, she is now. I mean, that's a big, if you think about it in that way, and you think about it like, she came into WWE and she was nothing, and she just worked her way up through the entire system. Like, she's a success story of the system, in WWE, for better or worse. Like, whether you like her, you don't like her, she is a success story for sure. Bianca Belair too. But now you have her in this position where you're not capitalizing on any of that stuff. And I just don't think that's, it's just, I don't know. That's just not smart. That's just not smart to me.
It's not. And it's unfortunate, because I don't know what you do. You could probably, I would say it would just be best for her to get the title off her and just start from scratch and just build her back up gradually. That's all you can really do. And that sucks. And that's a waste of a cash in. But I mean, they could have easily prevented that. Or, hell, if you were going to do, you can't do a baby face who's super tiny. If they were going to have a baby face go, like, win the Money in the Bank briefcase, they could have easily put that thing on Raquel And honestly, Zach, I mean, you look at my reviews every week. I think Raquel's been the best part of the women's division in the last 2 months. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're trying to do with her, because they put her in that match with Rousey, and then they've kind of shifted her back and forth in these tag team divisions, which doesn't make any sense because she is clearly someone they want to push, but then they're just like, oh, we want to really push you, but not right now, or not all the way. We just because there's 0 people in this tag team division that we have to put you against your former foe in NXT, which is like, because to me, she's got the size, she's not the personality. Like, ultimately, is she like the one? I don't know, but she's the best option that they have available at this time, because
Yeah.
I feel like not only she's got the size that, traditionally, this is not there anymore, but they call her, Big Mama Cool. She's got that representation of like, Spanish heritage, which they've always trying to capitalize on. So, I mean, that works. I mean, I believe she's actually from Texas, I believe too. So there's like a lot of stuff they can capitalize on.
And she, I think she really, and maybe she's up next. I mean, maybe we haven't seen her really prominently in the Triple H or Paul Levesque, this could be bad.
Oh, what the hell was
no.
that? Oh, Liv, what was that?
I said it out loud. I just jinxed him. Sorry, Liv.
Ooh. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looked good the second time, but you can't discount first time. See, like, oof, that hurts. I mean, that hurts. Anyway, if Ronda Rousey wins the title tonight here, like, I could see him pivoting to Raquel Gonzalez, and I think Dr. Ross, like, this is the type of feud, Liv versus somebody like Sarah Logan, like, that's a repair type feud for her, where it's like she can just kind of not even, I don't even know that I would classify it as starting from scratch, but just kind of like a bit of a refresh. Like, okay, we're gonna start this thing over. My God, these chair shots are just horrendous.
Oh, Liv, come on,
somebody just, Jesus, if you can't throw a chair shot, don't throw them. Ugh.
Okay. I mean, I have the curviest of curveballs of them all. And
all right, let's hear it.
If we're gonna build her up from ground zero, let's put her in NXT. Let her beat Mandy Rose and have her maybe work some of these younger folks that are trying to get some.
That could, I mean, that really could work.
I mean, wouldn't you rather, realistically, again, no disrespect to Mandy Rose, but she's a functional worker, I think, at this point. She's definitely, she has nothing that I want to see in the main roster, but as far as actually elevating the Roxanne or the Roxy's of the world, and then Cora Jades.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the people that eventually you want to build up. Tiffany Stratton. Liv could probably get a little bit more out of these girls, and she could be like, hey, I've been there. This is what they're looking for, kind of thing. And just because Mandy, she's kind of like that old head. Like, her presentation is not necessarily what they're looking for anymore.
Right. Let's get to the chat here for a little bit, because we got some good stuff in here. Metal Brand jumping in saying, I'd be interested in Ronda versus Raquel and Sarah versus Liv. It's a good way to get away from this terrible feud. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a good just pivot for both of these women. Big spot here, man. That's a good looking spot. Is this going to be the finish? Yeah, nope.
I think if it would have been a senton, maybe, because it was more like, that was more of a leg drop, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think this is what I can do off the top rope, and whatever it's called, it's called. And then Dr. Ross, thank you. Those chair shots are the third option I would pick over the Gunther option. So, Brian, before you hopped on here, we were debating, would you rather take 5 Gunther chops to the chest, or those like that deathmatch spot where they do like the head spikes into like the forehead? I don't know if you've seen that at all.
Ooh.
What would you rather? What would you rather take?
I'm doing the chops. I'm a bleeder.
Dude, that's what I said the same thing.
Yeah. I bruise like a banana, and I will probably turn purple like Cody Rhodes'
like
chest.
his chest.
But I mean, if just the slightest cut, I feel like I just explode. Just my blood goes everywhere. I don't know if that's because I'm a rare blood type or whatever it is. She's about to choke out Liv. Maybe.
Yeah, it's coming. But it looks so bad. Is Liv smiling?
What is? Oh no! Did they just call it off?
They did.
Oh my god! What? Okay. Wow. Like that didn't even like. I mean, that didn't even look like a traditional like submission.
Well, they were going for the table, like because she had the table like wedged up against her, I guess her face or her chin. Metal Brand coming in hot with, I'm just glad this is over. I'm glad this is over.
Well, technically, WWE feuds roll into threes, and this is technically the second match. So there could be one more. There could be.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, technically though, it's the third, right? Because they Money in the Bank, but that doesn't really count.
I wouldn't technically count that because that was more towards because who did Ronda? Was that Charlotte? Did she beat Charlotte that night? I don't even remember.
Which night?
Like when who did Charlotte beat when Liv cashed in?
Oh, no, it was Natty.
Oh, Natty. Okay, thank you. I was just like, okay, yeah. I knew there was like a weird in between. So, what? I know, like, oh, that would. I mean, I'm not like a traditional, like, jiu-jitsu like coach or whatever, but I mean, I would like to think I could probably do something a little bit better than that. That just like at least. Like she was holding her ankle where in theory it looked like it was wrapped around her neck. And I think, like you said, I think they were supposed to pressurize the table.
The table, yeah.
But it was smashed. So it was just, I don't know. But
yeah, no. I think that's exactly what they were doing. Let's talk about Liv's reactions after the match.
Unhinged Harley Quinn, I told you.
Yes. Marcus is saying, hey, they're doing the whole Liv didn't tap thing. She passed out. Yeah, that's what they're doing. But I was more thinking like, Liv, like she had this like maniacal, like Harley Quinn-esque stare, right? The smile is when you see that, you're kind of groaning. You're groaning. But when you see that, are you like, I'm in on this more like deranged Liv Morgan character, or is it like we were talking about before, which is, hey, this is not what brought you to the dance, so don't go that way. Don't play that card when you don't have to.
I kind of feel like didn't she dabble a little bit this in the Riot Squad to a degree? Not like obviously cranked up to the number 10, but I mean, ultimately, I would like to think this is Hunter. Maybe I don't know if this is Hunter / SmackDown getting involved with Fox being like, "Hey, man, Liv is not the one for us. We want Ronda back with the title. If it's not, because I wonder if it is Fox having some type of influence. If it's not, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Ronda, Rousey, we're not interested on any other women currently."
Yeah, it could be. I mean, that could be a thing. And yeah, I don't know. Look, seeing how that went, I think Metal Brand, I think you're onto something here. I really do. Running this back on TV, I mean, that makes, I don't know that it makes necessarily sense, but the way that this match finished and the fact that you have Crown Jewel, it's a month away. I don't know that you're gonna do that. You're not gonna do this match there, I don't think. So
you might.
Yeah, maybe you want to get a rating out of it. Maybe we want to get a number out of it. And and just run it back and do the trilogy match and then call it a day. Like I can actually, based on that finish, I can see him going down that road, Brian.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this timeline because I actually had a couple folks kind of say, you're being a little hard on this Liv Morgan stuff. I was like, okay. I mean, it doesn't look like it because I'm looking at the timeline now and it's kind of in shambles because I've not seen one person say a good thing about like that match entirely, which is different. Oh, good. Oh, man. Tell me. Are you going to keep me? Do I get to hang out for the strap match? Because this is one of the.
Well, no, I wish I would have known that. No, we have another guest coming on at 8:00. So no, but hey, you can always hang out. You can always hang out, man. I'm trying to not keep people super long because everybody has lives to live. So no, but
hey, man, it's Saturday night. Wife is out. I've got the house to myself, so I've got nothing to do. But I'm happy to
living the dream.
Yeah, man. So if you whoever you have on next, if you want to, I'm happy to hang out. That's cool with you.
Yeah. No. Let's see. What are we gonna do here? Why don't we call it here? We'll bring on another guest, and then we'll bring you back later.
Cool.
If we have some if there's some gaps in time. All right.
Sounds good, buddy.
Everybody, check out Brian's columns on PWTorch.com. I'm going to plug them here really quick, and then Brian, I want you to plug some stuff too.
Cool.
Brian picked up the SmackDown Hits and Misses columns, I don't know, a couple months ago, and they're really fun to read, and they're quick hitters. You kind of get like some editorial opinion, but also caught up on what happened during the show if you missed it. So I highly recommend make that a part of your day. They usually hit PWTorch.com on Saturdays, but they've also hit on Sundays, depending on what's life is happening and how life is going. Also, Brian, you've authored 2 editorials for the Torch that have been well received and on point. One, John Moxley, and the other, what was the other one on?
This was Drew McIntyre right after.
Yes, Drew McIntyre. Yep. Yeah. So everybody can go check those out. Brian, thank you for being here, man. We'll try to bring you back later, and plug your social media though as well. You're a good follow on Twitter.
I appreciate that. Yeah, pretty basic. Just my first and last name at Brian Zone. If you want to interact with wrestling, happy to do so. Obviously, really big into basketball. In addition to somehow with doing wrestling stuff, I'm also doing stuff for MavsMoneyball.com because I am a Mavericks fan. So if you'd like to dabble in any type of NBA discourse, happy to do so. Not the biggest LeBron fan, but I mean, other than that, we should get along just fine then.
Nice. Well, I'm a Bulls fan, so ouch. It's gonna be a long year.
Hey man,
real long year, my friend.
No, you got Lonzo, you got the GOAT, you got Caruso. That's all you need. You got Caruso.
Oh my God! Don't. Oh my God! You're killing me, Brian.
The real run.
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Everybody follow him on Twitter. Follow his work at PWTorch.com. And Brian, we'll talk soon.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
All right. Brian Zellum from PWTorch.com, everybody. He does some really good work. So if you guys haven't checked out his stuff, I highly recommend that you do. I think you'll be very happy that you spend some time with it. All right, we've got Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Oh, look at this love for Brian coming in. I love this. From Tracy, thank you. Enjoy the show, Brian. From Azan. White Rabbit time. That's the question. This is the first match of the night where I think that could really be a thing. But I maintain, you got to put that segment, whatever it is, you got to put that in the main event. Like, I think you have to do it. Like, if you put it here, even unless, look, we'll look at it in hindsight, but man, you got to present that type of angle and that type of story and that type of like investment that you ask your audience to make. You can't drop that in the middle of the card, right? Like, I just don't think you can. I just don't think you can, even though, maybe it fits here, but I wouldn't do that if I were you. Okay. Real quick, let's put a bow on our SmackDown Women's Championship discussion, and let's do it with Dr. Ross's comment. First step on the way to Ronda versus Becky for the title one-on-one at WrestleMania. Yes, that's the road, guys. I mean, that's the road that they're on here, or that's the road they should be on. I mean, that's a big match. It was big, whatever, 4 years ago or 3 years ago, wherever it was, and they didn't go that way. So, but now they can do it again, and now you can play it back. You can run that back and get out of it, and that can main event one of your nights. Like, why not? Night one. I mean, look, think about this. Night one, Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Okay, and then night two, Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes, maybe, or The Rock. Like, that's two. Either way, that's big. Those are big main events. And I think, we saw that. We started seeing that today. So, yeah, good catch there. All right, we've got Karrion Kross making his entrance. It is black and white, Zan. So are you down on this? Are you down on the fact that is black and white? Because it is. I love it. On the money. Right on point. Right on point there. My goodness. Wow. All right. So can we talk about this entrance? I know that it's unique. Okay, right? I know that it's different. But I think it's just like so self-indulgent. Like, the entrance is just so damn self-indulgent. Like, what the hell is this? Like, it's cool, and it was cool once, and I think it worked even better when there wasn't really when there weren't fans in the crowd, because you could just, go and do whatever you wanted, really. But the lip syncing drives me crazy too. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, I don't think that the entrance is. I mean, it's cool, but it's like, God damn, we're gonna do this thing every time. Like, every time he comes out. Okay. All right. With that said, we welcome in our second guest of the evening from Fightful, Joel Pearl. Joel, man, happy Saturday. Welcome on into the Extreme Rules Torchcast, man.
Happy Saturday indeed, Zach. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. We're just, hey, nothing wrong with watching wrestling on a Saturday night and tossing a beer back or two, in my case, and just hanging out with some good people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Hey, listen, watching wrestling on a Monday night, on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's different on a Saturday night. It's different on a Saturday night.
It's good as long as my Sunday can be free of wrestling.
Yes. Well,
at least on one day.
Yes. And the last time WWE ran a pay-per-view was the exact opposite of that, because you had it was like Dynamite. It was like something Thursday, and then you had Rampage Friday, and then you had Clash of the Castle Saturday, and then you had NXT Sunday afternoon, and then you had All Out Sunday. Like, just complete pandemonium and madness. Well, dude, I'm glad you're here, and this is a fun match, I think, to be here with. Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre. We've been debating I was ranting and raving about Karrion Kross's entrance. It's cool, but also, like, seriously, like, every time we're gonna do this every freaking time.
What's wrong with Madonna and the nice guy with the hair?
I got nothing, but like, it's more so like the I don't know, that part where where everything turns red and he comes in and he starts doing those like arm motions. I'm like, what how? Yeah, okay, I don't want to rant again. I mean, I've already done that 3 or 4 times. So yeah, but what do you think, Karrion Kross?
It seems like it's the Torch thing to do to hate on Karrion Kross, and I kind of respect the fact that you guys, you're very cohesive in that
We
regard.
call each other beforehand and let everybody know how it's going to go. Yeah,
there's a group chat that just says the anti-Karrion Kross group chat.
Yeah, yes, that and as you were pointing out, not mentioning killing people in wrestling promos too. That's also what we make sure to keep that in line too with everybody.
I hope that if Wade ever sees the tweets that I make about me like calling him out before he says something that we all expect him to say, I hope he knows that I do this in jest and that I actually respect the hell out of the work that he does.
I'm sure he does.
It's just, to me, it's hilarious when they did the thing on Monday where they talked about, I'm going to kill you. And immediately I was like, Wade's going to talk about Scott Hall.
Yeah, he's going to talk about the talk. Yep.
Well, lo and behold, that's what happened.
It's our old group chat. But in all seriousness, Karrion Kross, like, are you followed Impact Wrestling for quite some time, and so you saw a lot of his work there. Like, have we seen the range that he has, or is there more to come?
I don't expect a ton out of him. Big, he's not even that big, but like just burly looking doomsday bringer character. That's fine. There's not going to be a third or fourth gear to him in terms of a character. He can go in the ring. He's not that bad. Like in NXT, he was working with people who were much faster than him. And as a result, a lot of things were called out when it comes to his work rate. And that's understandable. You're working with the Adam Coles and the Johnny Garganos and people who are much different in terms of style. But for the WWE style that we all, recognize, he's great for this. He's got, it's a bombastic character. It absolutely works with Scarlett. And I see this. I don't see this as like super duper main event right now, but as a, just before main event level character, it's great. And if they try to pair him up with whoever the White Rabbit happens to be, I think that's even better.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I think that's well said. To me, it's like the guy has like the character part of wrestling down. I think he, the entrance is a little self-indulgent, but that said, it's an attempt at character, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I think he's got that down. I think he needs to deliver like in the ring. I think he needs to deliver like in this match in particular. Like this is a pretty big spot for him, and he's protected in so many ways because they could just whip each other with this damn strap, and I think people are gonna be fine with that. Yesterday on SmackDown, my God, those strap shots from Kross to Drew were those things were brutal. So yeah, I think he's protected in that regard here. So I'm looking for him to have a good match here. And the White Rabbit, that would be interesting. If he was involved in that somehow, like I'm in on that. And because that way he doesn't have to like be he's a top player, but he's not like a big time main player where he's got to deliver on everything, right? Yeah. He doesn't carry as much responsibility in that. So if that's how this nets out at some point, I think that's a win.
And I would love to see it just because it means that he can be a bit player in a bigger program and potentially break out himself. And if that's what it takes, him being associated with somebody who is much more popular than him, then I'll take it. Because again, Kross is entertaining. He's really good. You mentioned that segment last night from SmackDown. I'll be honest, I had to speed run SmackDown last night because I watched Bound for Glory. That was the show I wanted to, spend my time watching, for better or worse. And I made my choice, but I watched SmackDown. I speed ran it, and I sat and watched that segment from SmackDown with Kross and Drew, and I thought it was very well done. I love the camera work. I love that they beat each other senseless, and it made me get excited for this match that's going on right now.
Good. I think it sold it well, but I also think it maintained its integrity and didn't go overboard. Where it was like, well, we just saw both guys just beat each other to a crisp with the strap. So what do we have left to see in the match? Like it teased it just enough and then went away. And so now you are like, all right, let's. I want to watch this thing. I'll ask the chat. Are you guys high on everybody out there in the chat world? Dr. Ross and Azan and Tracy and everybody else. Karrion Kross, let's just thumbs up it, thumbs down it. Like where are you guys? Where are you at on this?
And keep in mind that your thumbs up doesn't mean, you think he's a main eventer and is going to run the world.
Right.
Like,
Let
us know, because some people think it's a binary argument, right? Thumbs up means he's going to be number one with a bullet, and thumbs down means he's going to be on main event next week.
And I mean, and Karrion Kross has been on main event.
Yes, he has
with a weird looking mask. Yeah, man, that's just.
By the way, shout out to Drew McIntyre, who has basically gone into his last 4 feuds getting his back completely beaten to a pulp.
It's just have back issues too.
He did. I think he did at one point, but like they did the strap here last night. They did something with Roman going into Clash. Yeah, they did something with Sheamus and him, and there was something else.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They just keep beating his back up, and it's just, hey, he keeps coming to work, so I can't complain.
Hey, if he's good for it, no, I mean, so am I. So am I.
Yep.
I've been looking forward to this match, and I think so far it's played out. I think it's played out pretty much like I thought it would. Couple big, strap shots, and then Kross kind of getting all the heat now on Drew overcoming. But the finish, like that to me is like a real interesting thing to digest and chat about, because, well, I mean, you can argue that both these guys really need a win. So which way do you go? Like, who's more important? And I think I'd argue Karrion Kross, just because he's so new, but you can certainly make the argument for Drew McIntyre too.
I really agree that it's Kross.
Yeah.
And Drew almost always lands on his feet. I'm not going to say he's Teflon, but this is a case where if he goes down in this match, I think tomfoolery goes down with it. But you make both men look strong. But I think Kross winning makes perfect sense here. It's got to happen because it's his first real pay-per-view feud. It's his first big match. This just screams Karrion Kross wins, or you have some wild finish that nobody wins, and they have someone pop up from the ring or something.
I hope it's not that. I think if you have this match, you gotta pay it off. But but you might be right though. I mean, there's gonna be one kind of like nonsense finish on this show, right? Yeah. So so we're getting a lot of like mixed reactions here. Thumb in the middle from Azan. We're getting Kross is getting a lot of heat. He adds depth to the main roster. Tracy, brand new, hasn't seen him. This is interesting. I only know what I've heard on Twitch podcasts, and they're biased to say the least. Yes, you're right.
Group chat.
Group chat. But the cinematic entrance was silly if that happens every time. Thank you. God, thank you, Tracy. This corroborated. No, I think it can be good in moments.
Time and a place. And I agree.
Time and a place.
Time and a place is the way to go.
It's like the demon, but not quite all the way like the demon. Like, it's like if you did that every time, that would just be obnoxious. Although they do need to fill 5 hours of TV time every week, but it just would be, I think obnoxious here. I'm liking no, call me old fashioned, but I like these kind of matches where it's like slowly paced. You're really shining the babyface up so that he can, or you get heat on the babyface so he can make the comeback like he's doing right now. That to me, that like always plays. Like that's a tried and true formula in pro wrestling, and so I'm kind of like, all right, I'm here for this.
Yeah, listen, it looks great on Drew because eventually he's going to get the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand when he makes his comeback. Whatever this, and we're building to it right now, and it's great. Last night, for example, at Bound for Glory, we had Josh Alexander and Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards was the heel, and first of all, the build to the match was not great. The match itself was fantastic, and a lot of that was built in the way they built the matchup, which included a heel going after a babyface, getting all the heat in, piling it on, and a slow build that ended up with a really, really awesome finish. Even with the schmaz, like that happened towards the end of the match, it was still really well paced and really well done. That's good wrestling. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's old fashioned. I just think that's telling a story. And when it's the right story to tell, you tell that story.
I think you're right, man. I think that's well said. Yeah, yeah. You kind of like, or even me, I like kind of hedge and like, well, that's an old school, but it's like you're right. Like that's pro wrestling, and there's some things in pro wrestling that are always going to be there and they're always going to work. And yeah, there's nuances in terms of how you deliver certain things, but like you need these moments in matches. And you're right. Last night, that Josh Alexander Eddie Edwards match was very similar to this, the way this has gone in a lot of ways, and even more so because Josh Alexander, I think, is such a he sells so well, and he's such a kind of likable guy, likable babyface, sympathetic but like badass at the same time. Kind of like Daniel Bryan in WWE in a little bit of ways. And so yeah, if you haven't seen that match, I'd go out of your way I would go out of your way to watch that match for sure.
Yeah. The top two matches from last night were really, really solid. That Masha Slamovich and Jordan Grace match, same thing. And you know what? That was another match where it told the story that was, built on the build. And they did such a great job building. Even the contract signing they did the night before that aired on Impact absolutely made a lot of people want that Masha Slamovich and Jordan Grace match to be the main event. And when it wasn't, like, it made sense, your world champion should go on last, yada, yada. But it made a strong case that it should have been the main event. But the stories that they told in that matchup for those knockouts really put them on top last night.
Masha Slamovich is going to be on a independent show, AAW show here in the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament, which is like their big tournament. And I'm pumped to see her after that. I think she's gonna have a little more momentum behind her. It's gonna be pretty good. She's gonna be in that wrestling, other men. I mean, she wrestled Josh Alexander at the last show, and it was. And I'm not a big fan of intergender wrestling, but man, that worked. I mean, it really worked. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining us, man. Just to throw some of your comments up here, because I agree with both of them. All right, now you get Scarlett getting involved here, Joel. Where are you at on this? On this, if this is the finish? Okay, he's down.
So I just had Scarlett. She just walked in there doing the face-to-face right now because I'm watching on the OG network because I do that. Oh, okay. She just bear maced him. That's great.
Yep.
Man, this is just like an episode of The Office I saw once.
I'm not sure that's what they're going for, but
no?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Okay, so Kross just hit his back of the neck finish, and that's it. Okay. I forget what he calls it. What does he call that blow to the back of the neck?
But it's the
Okay, hold on. This is great selling right now by Kross. He gets the pin, he gets the win, and he immediately is like, oh shit, I got this stuff on my face, and he's selling it. Like he's like, it's on my face too.
Kross
little things like that actually are really good.
Yep. I agree. I didn't catch that. That's good. Yeah, that is good stuff. So I think this finish that's not a good angle for that spot. So I don't think WWE should show that one again. There's a lot of light on that move. But anyway, this finish I think is going to get a lot of flack. But I'm okay with it, I think, because the Scarlett and Karrion Kross act, I mean, it's very much one, And so I think you want to continue to portray Scarlett as a difference maker, within what they do out there. And so this was a good way to do that. And it also protects Drew a little bit at the same time. So I'm, 30 seconds removed from the finish here. I'm thumbs up on it.
I like
you
it.
Liking what they did?
This works for me. I mean, they, like you said, the two are synonymous. They should absolutely be working in tandem, and they did that, and it looks great. She saved her man, and she did everything. And you know what this is? On top of this is a make good for the flash paper spot that went awry a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown. So instead of lighting something on fire and missing, instead we're gonna have her, use the mace.
And missing instead and missing again.
Exactly. Could you imagine?
Could you? Yeah, right. Could you? I mean, it's way worse in this type of situation. Yeah. I'm looking on the old Twitter feed here, and the finish is not getting a lot of love. So I'll be defending this for a few days here.
Hate it. Run it back. They'll probably do it. Maybe they'll do it in Saudi next month, and that's sure, whatever. Payday for both.
Yes, big payday for both of them. So Tracy, oh dear, in that you didn't like the match, or you did? I mean, I'm going to keep going back to you, Tracy, because you're a first time viewer of WWE in years. So I really am interested in your thoughts. So, oh dear, good, or oh dear, I'm turning it off.
I think I have a feeling what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, I think I do too. But I want to ask. Fair point to Marcus, I suppose. If this was regular TV, it was okay, but PLE, not going to work. I still maintain. I still think it's okay. Like, look, here's the deal too. She saved her man. Okay,
sorry.
Okay, Joel, defend yourself, quick.
She's not only the manager, she's the harbinger of Kross. She stood by her man and saved him when he was about to get claymored. Pretty simple. She got involved in the match because she saw that her client, and really her man, listen, in real life they're married, they're together. It's not a secret. They haven't outwardly told you on the television show, but like, come on, they just did the Savage and Elizabeth. She's up in his arms. Like, come on, if you don't know, you know. And that's what it was.
Yeah, so I could see this too, being a female fan, like hearing it that way. But I think like and look, I'll be the first one. I have 2 daughters, super like Tracy. I mean, you and I are in lockstep on this stuff. This I think is a good thing for Scarlett, because Scarlett is not. She's not like a good in ring like worker. I mean, she's okay, but I don't know that she was. I don't know. I just don't. When I think of women like that are top tier wrestlers, like she's not in that picture. She's a great character and she's a great manager. And so when I look at that finish, I'm like, this is a good thing, because it's valuable. It's valuable for the Kross gimmick, and it creates value for her in a really big way. So I give it a thumbs up for that reason. No offense to you, Joel.
Tracy, here's the thing. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable with the way that I speak about things, because the last thing I want to do is upset any fan, regardless of gender. And I don't want anything that I say to be misconstrued as potentially sexist. So that's why I was just like, I hope you're not offended by the way I explained myself here. So that's all.
Yeah, no, for sure not. And Tracy, I really do believe that. And because
I spend all my time talking about women's wrestling.
I would. What did you say?
I said, shit, I spend most of my time talking about women's wrestling.
Yeah, and I definitely would have called you out on that either way. Like
right, and that was also what Scarlett was doing with Kross in NXT was similar. Like she was his keeper. Like she was the brains behind the brawn. That was kind of the way that they presented her, and that's what they were doing here. So that's just kind of the way I always read into it with them.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, and I think it works. It works that way. They're very much a tandem. I like that he got the win here, and I know that the finish will be ruffle some feathers, but I really think that Kross needed that win. I mean, look, if you bring him back in like his first major match, you job him out in any way, it really, I think, defines him down. Like, not like I'm going to wear this mask down, but like down.
Yeah.
All right. So Joel, can you hang out for a little more or for one more match, or you want to bounce?
Yeah. I'm good to hang out as long as you need me.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, because we got another guest joining us at 8:45. So when we hang for a bit, and
bring them all on. Let's just bring 10 people on the screen just talking.
You know what? That's not a bad idea for our next go around here. I'm trying to be responsible with the time, so everybody has their chance. But you're right. Maybe we just do this, important. 10 man or women Royal Rumble Torchcast.
There it is.
For like
we were so lax when we did these for Fightful on our Twitch channel. We would have 8, 9, 10 people on, and we were pretty good at like just being respectful of each other's, moments and not stepping on each other. But like, some people just want to sit and watch the show, and that's fine. That's, by the way, if you see me looking this way, that's my other monitor. But most of the time, like, as long as there's someone there who wants to talk, you're fine. Because not everyone needs to speak through the entire show. I found out the hard way.
Yeah, well, yes, it's a long time. Now, I think I'm kind of glad that going into the show. I'm like, man, there's 6 matches. Like that's solid. 6 matches, like that's a sweet spot. That's
takeover, baby.
That's takeover level stuff. And I don't want to make this an AEW thing, but because WWE's been there before too with like 14 matches on shows, and it's just like by the end you don't even know how to judge some of the stuff because the crowd's so damn tired, and you're not going to have that here tonight.
That's right. And then at the end of the night, you're just like, I'm tired, I'm hurt, I work with children.
Yeah, right. Yes, Les. Even the world champion can't handle being in the main event slot that late in the night.
By the way, for anyone who missed it, the GCW show tonight had a very interesting ending that's worth going to check out. Nick Gage versus Mox for the GCW World Championships. Good stuff.
It's on deck for me after this.
Go check it out.
After this. I've heard. I think it was spoiled in our chat. I'm not going to revisit it because just in case there are people on that don't want to know specifically what we're talking about. But I think if you do want to know, scroll up and you'll find out what that is.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So we've got this ladder match here, Joel, and Bayley's making her way to the ring. I've been cold on her, like since she's come back.
I disagree so much.
Really?
It's the one thing. Whenever I listen to you guys on the post shows, and it just any Torch audio when you're talking about Bayley and being like she's not invested or she's not interested, I think there's something that's being missed in your commentaries. With all due respect,
go
Bayley's back. Bayley's back, not to put herself over. She's here to get these 2 women that she brought in with her over. And every time she speaks, she's not talking about herself. She's talking about Io and Dakota. She's trying to get them up to that next level. And why is she here? Sorry for those who are watching. Nikita Lyons just showed up on my screen.
I was wondering when that was gonna. So I didn't say anything. I saw it, a couple seconds earlier, and I was like, "All right, let's see what Joel has to say about this." And that was pretty much probably the best comment you could have made. So, not a fan then, Joel, eh?
No, I have a name for her and her tag team that I will not repeat here. You can find it on my Twitter.
It's I don't get the hype with her. I mean,
neither do I.
I just don't. I mean, I know, there are people that like what she's doing, but I just, to me, I see a green wrestler that does not know what she's doing out there, like period. So,
yeah.
All right, keep going with Bayley.
So the Bayley thing is this match is very interesting to me because this is an opportunity for them to take the title off of Bianca Belair without having to pin or submit her, and then open up for a match down the road. Understandable. I get it. Makes Damage Control look even better because they have the women's tag team championships and the Raw Women's Championship. It's great. That being said, if Bayley does walk out tonight with that Raw Women's Championship, then yes, she does have to put on the burners a little bit more and promote and promo herself more than she has been. But for me, the entire time that she's been talking, it's always been her team first, specifically the 2 women that specifically pitched to work with her and that were brought back for her over Bayley herself. By the way, Bayley wearing 98 Kane colors tonight.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty sweet.
She's ready for her one night as champion.
Yeah. Oh my God. So you make a compelling argument. The only thing that I would look, and I think it's valid points, but my thing is like, it's like Bayley is still like in her prime, like right now. And so it's like, I want to see her like just be the alpha heel of the show. And yeah, like, yes, you eventually in the end, you want to put over the team for sure. But I just think that like, I guess for lack of a better way to phrase this, I just want to see her as the main focus. And I want to see those 2 as background players for right now, because I think Bayley can just like Bayley and Bianca, I think when on paper, I'm like, damn, man, that's going to be solid. But I don't think they've clicked very much. And I think both women are to blame for that. But Bayley's the one I'm just surprised by most, I guess. I mean, like when I say like, hey, Bayley needs to have the spotlight on her, does that change your analysis at all? Or are you just looking at it through the lens of like, well, she's making other talent here?
Because we haven't seen Bayley do much as a singles competitor since returning, this is really the first opportunity that we're getting at seeing how she performs in like a high level singles competition. So for that's going to kind of influence how I feel right now. Going into it though, it's always been, it's her team, it's not her. Tonight now it's her. And
they're not even out there. So I think that's interesting. I'm sure they will be out there, but at some point. but okay, look, we'll see. We will see. Yeah. I maintain that I haven't liked the build really too much. It has been bad. It's just and it may be my expectations too. Like my expectations were high. No, and I don't know that it hit that, but
I think you're in the right spot there because every other match has been built with its stipulation in a way that makes sense. This is the only match it was just kind of thrown out there as like, let's do a single women's championship match, ladder match, because we've never done one of those before, where it was just a one-on-one women's title match, women's title ladder match. Yeah. Everything else actually had its stakes involved with it.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, and I agree. This one will be interesting. There's a lot at play here, I think. Like, you can go both ways. I predicted Bayley was going to win the title just because I think it's a good way to, if you're in my camp and you're like, she's just not as hot as she might want to be, the title would be a way to like just automatically inject some momentum into her. So you have a potential title change at play here, but then you also have what's going on in our chat right now, which is talk about the White Rabbit payoff. And so I thought this may have been slotted in the main event for the payoff to happen with this match. Clearly, obviously, they're not going that way. Do you think the White Rabbit pays off here, Joel?
I think it pays off in steps.
Okay.
I don't know if the main White Rabbit character, whoever it's supposed to be for, hint, whatever one's talking about. I don't know if it's that person that shows up tonight. I think there are multiple people who will be involved in whatever this is. But yeah, I'm not surprised that this isn't the main event because this never felt like this was going to be the main event tonight. Actually, I was going into this night originally saying that Liv and Ronda was going to be the main event. But then I thought to myself, well, two things. One, if Ronda is in the main event, she's going to win this match in like 2 minutes and they're going to do a shock finish and that's going to be that. And they're going to go off the air with people being like, oh, what happened? And it's Goldberg versus Brock in 2016 again. Or it was going to be Drew and Kross, and then they were going to do the reveal for the White Rabbit and Kross would be involved in that somehow. Clearly not the case because both matches have come and gone. So we'll see. I mean, listen, the main event, I know what it is. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for people, but given the main event, seems a weird place to have an unveiling like that.
Yeah, it does. Yes, we'll see. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of people like Chris who are like, man, I'm staying up for a payoff here. I am staying up for a payoff. So, you can only kind of tease that so many times and not pay it off. Ooh, that's a nice spot by Bianca there.
I'm seeing her fold up this ladder, so I know something's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid. So what are you watching on? You're watching on the network?
On the OG network, baby.
The OG. Wow. Okay.
They got my Canadian American Express number and
there you
an address that I've made up in the Philippines. I don't remember.
So are you using a VPN or no?
No, you don't need to. WWE Network never cared. As long as they got your money, they did not give a damn. But when they closed off in Canada, they moved over to Sportsnet here. And Sportsnet requires that you either have a cable subscription or you pay for their online streaming service. But if you use their version of it, you can't do screen capping, which is a very frustrating thing for someone like me who once in a while likes to crop a photo and put it up on my Twitter for engagement and just coloring whatever I'm saying. And it was a little more expensive too. And also, you didn't get all of the content. You would get the live PLEs, you would get the live TV, which was nice. So Raw, SmackDown, NXT, you would watch that live on streaming, and you get like Broken Skull sessions and random original programming like that. But you couldn't get like old WCW or old ECW or any of the stuff that like made WWE Network appealing. So I went back to the old school.
Got it. Yeah, that's cool. I miss it. I miss the old school. I miss the old school.
It's nice to have.
Peacock just sucks.
So I've been told, and I refuse to go that route.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Just for as long as you can hold off on it.
It requires a VPN too, and I don't want to do that. So I use Chrome for everything. All of my browser stuff is done on Chrome, except for WWE Network. I use Opera browser for that because it has a built-in VPN in case anything ever happens.
You're a genius. You are a damn
No,
genius.
I just got ahead of the game where I could. I pay my 13 Canadian dollars.
The OG WWE Network sounds great right now. So the match so far, what do you think so far?
Good start. These two are definitely wanting to show that there's chemistry there. They're playing with the ladders, which is nice. That's what this match is all about. It's not too slow. And the last match it started slow, which worked for them. Here, there's got to be a little bit more pressure to get that title. So why not move quickly? And these two are doing that. What do you think so far?
I'm liking it a lot too. And I not only do I think that they have it paced right, but like the ladder spots aren't sloppy. Like I thought some of the stuff in the Liv Ronda match was just sloppy stuff. Like the chair shots were, and look, I know you can't, like, you're not going to like give somebody a chair shot to the head in WWE, and nor should you, but you could still deliver like, shots that look good, and they didn't. This is look crisp to me. When Bianca does the moonsault onto Bayley, who's on the ladder, like that's crisp. Like that's a solid spot. And so is the striking with the ladder. So I've liked that. They've also been like pretty 50-50 in the match as far as the offense goes. So
yeah. And they're going to start breaking out now. It looks like Bayley's going to start, putting on the heat and making it look good. And yeah, I can see Bianca's just selling her way through it. I love that Bayley had just knocked that guy's sign out of his hands. It's very funny.
Yes, that was awesome. Yep. That was very good.
One thing that kind of turns me off about doing a potential Bayley title win is, again, your champion doesn't get pinned. And we just did something with the SmackDown Women's Championship match where Liv didn't submit. Liv didn't get pinned. She basically passed out with a smile on her face. And like, this is her Joker origin story. Both of your women's champions losing potentially in a similar way, aka not getting pinned or submitted. To me, that's a little bit lazy. And I know people are going to push back on that because the matches are very different. The stipulations are very different. But it just felt like they could have done a little more to remedy that, not have the same style of finish, the same protected finish.
Yeah, and I think, you're right. I think, the pinning of the champion thing, I think, is something that kind of is like flies under the radar in terms of something that I think matters. It's not that like winning a world title in a ladder match or the way Ronda won it tonight is like not good, but there is that moment though of like that 1, 2, 3, either as a heel or babyface, especially as a babyface, because you get that kind of that moment, that cadence, the 1, 2, 3 pop. But even for heels, I think it's important because there's heat in that 3 count too. That you just don't get in a pass out finish. You don't always get the same type of reaction that I'm talking about, even with a submission finish. You don't get that either. It's more definitive than like a ladder, I'd say, but it's not quite like that 3 count. That's important.
Yeah. I'm watching this match. They're going for it.
Yeah. And
it's a random. They just show this random shot of someone in the audience, just like wide-eyed and confused.
What am I watching?
Just extreme.
You're at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, there, buddy. The problem with this match now is you kind of know it isn't going to finish until after the run-ins. Joel?
It's a good point. At the same time, if you're able to put that aside and just know that these two are going to beat each other senseless. They're not running after going for the title. I mean, they are right now, but throughout the match, they're not like doing spots where they're climbing the ladder. Right now, they're in the beat each other down spot, and that's okay. When they start climbing for the title, that's when the run-ins start, and that's when you're like, okay, we're getting close to the finish here. So I'm okay with it for now.
Yeah. Yep. I think it remains to be seen. And also, I think, Chris, what are the run-ins for? Like what's the purpose of them? How are they serving the match? I think that is important too. And so we have to kind of wait and see. But if it's the traditional, like, okay, the run-in start and then things just go haywire, it's going to take some flack for that for sure. That
is trading.
Yeah, they're trading. And what did you make of have you seen like Bayley kicking out like the mechanism of the ladder so that
yes.
What do you think of that? Is that going somewhere?
Yeah, they're definitely going to keep going back to that. Back to that ladder. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of that. I don't know what Bayley just picked out of her nail or
was that in her nail?
It was either in her nail or in her finger. It could have been like a shard of metal or something, but that looked kind of gnarly. Also, Bianca wearing a wedding ring while wrestling that's a choice.
Is she really?
Like she's wearing her like actual ring on her finger. You can see it. Oh, there it is.
Not even just a band?
It's like a gold band.
Wow.
Most wrestlers, if you watch, who are married, are usually wearing something like an acrylic or a rubber band or something. And some just take off the rings altogether, which I get. But she's wearing like a legit band.
Wow. All right, here's your run-ins, Chris.
There we go.
They're coming, Joel.
I've got my KOD just now.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, geez, Bianca.
She's about to take a real bad header, isn't she?
She didn't take a good bump. Let's put it. I mean,
let's see how this goes.
It was good to watch, but it wasn't. If you're her, you're going, shit, why did I do that?
Yeah. Okay. So here they are.
Yep.
I hate the are you ready for this moment? Oh, yeah, right off of the top of the rope.
Yep. You saw it. Yep.
Yeah, not great. But that's one.
Are you ready for this is interesting. I wanted to real quick. I know there's a lot going on, so let's keep tabs on it. But the Sasha Banks mentioned in the entrance. I didn't catch that.
Twice.
Okay.
See you in Boston.
Yeah, man. That'd be big. I mean, they have not successfully done Bayley versus Sasha on the well, I guess that's not true. They have, but
doing that double KOD spot.
Yeah,
and having a hard time trying to figure out how to get both women in the same spot.
she got him up. I mean, God, Bianca's so impressive, man. Her athleticism is just insane. Like what she can do.
Once she got it, it was good.
Yeah. I mean, Dakota Kai almost landed right on her head, but she didn't. So that's good.
She got it. It all looked good. Yeah. It just took them a minute to figure out that it was in fact there.
What busted Bayley open? I missed that.
I don't know.
Is she bleeding, or is that her lipstick?
I think she's bleeding. There's something on her forearm too, just by her elbow.
Oh man, well maybe it was a shard of metal. I think that's could be what it is. And if that's the case, ouch! A piece of a freaking ladder. My God.
Have they broken through a ladder yet? No, they haven't done the breaking through a ladder.
They've got the one set up over there still.
But I think it's across the top. Yeah, that'll be the. That'll be for Bayley. Yeah. Or sorry, it'll be probably for the finish. You're right.
Or I would think. I mean, I guess I don't know, but.
Very.
But I've liked this match so far. I think this is living. I mean, this is what I was talking about, like where the in-ring can really just repair a lot. Like regardless of what you felt about Bayley going into this or the feud or like the build, like this match has delivered. So like kind of all is forgotten.
Yeah, it's true. And again, this is sometimes what happens in wrestling is the build is not the greatest. So they make up for it by having a solid match that people want to watch and talk about. That's fine. Yep. That's okay. This is still part of a story. And just because it didn't hit on all chapters doesn't mean it was a failure overall.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. I mean, and I think the match, like in the end, like that matters a lot, and you can kind of forget that, but it's they're delivering her. Yeah, is she busted? I think she is busted up. I think you're right. Bayley tougher than Kross. Oh my gosh, I love it, Tracy. Bayley is a tough. I mean,
she's a tough cookie.
She's had some wars. I mean, Tracy, if you decide like, hey, I'm gonna go back and check out some WWE stuff. I mean, there's some really good, there's some good pandemic era Bayley stuff to watch. Hell in a Cell matches, one of them with Sasha Banks. If you haven't seen it, Tracy, the NXT Takeover match, Sasha and Bayley from the first Takeover Brooklyn, you need to see that. Yeah. That's the best Bayley match to date, I think. She's up there.
It's very funny. Earlier today, they were showing on YouTube, on WWE's YouTube, they do the best of show where they're showing a bunch of matches from past Extreme Rules and so on. This time they changed it up. They were doing random matches that matched the matches that they were going to have tonight. So a ladder match. Yeah, so they showed like Balor and KO from Takeover Brooklyn, and then they showed a fight pit match with Ciampa and Thatcher, and I'm just sitting there being like, this is random, why are they doing this? And then I clued in during the ladder match. I'm like, oh, there's a ladder match tonight, there's a fight pit later, there's an I Quit match. They showed an I Quit match from like Extreme Rules, Sheamus and Mark Henry, and I was just like, it's not the one.
Wait, they had one. I would.
Apparently, I think it was okay. Mark Henry for sure.
Oh,
I think it was Mark Henry and Sheamus.
Holy moly! They had
a strap match at Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. Okay.
Yeah, 2013.
All right.
Here we go. Oh, there's the top of the ladder. Why would you hold on to it? Fingers.
Yeah. Let me know when you see the.
She's climbing again.
Okay.
And Michael Cole's voice just cracked.
That's like the third or fourth time that's happened.
There it is. All right. I don't hate it.
Yeah. The KOD onto that ladder. I mean, that was a sick bump. Really, yeah, good finish. I like that match. I like that match a lot. I think that lived up to the hype. I think that it delivered in a way that the feud really needed it to, because I think this is my opinion on the build, but I think it needed a match like this to kind of put a stamp on, hey, like this is we're the top of the run-in at Raw Women's Division, and I think it did that. And this was good. Match of the night so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was really good. Now the question is, what do you do with these people, these women going into Saudi? Because you got to get to Survivor Series. That's not until the end of November.
Yeah, so there's got to be something in Saudi Arabia, I would imagine. I mean, I think my guess is that this will be like the essence of one of the War Games matches. Is this group here, right? Like,
yeah,
the Damage Control group and Team Bianca Belair. So that's where they're going with that. But yeah, that's a long way away. So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of like who could do business with Bianca in Saudi Arabia. I mean, you could run this back for sure, and do some kind of other stipulation if you want, or I guess I just don't know after that. I mean, Rhea Ripley's out there, but I think that's a longer term program. Like that's not like a one-off, Saudi Arabia show thing. Like I think you could run that at WrestleMania, like if you wanted to.
If she's cleared, I have a feeling Rhea's going to be in an intergender tag match.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like, yeah, where do you go?
Hear me out.
Okay, go. Let's hear.
Tamina.
Hear you. Oh, no, I will not hear anything of the guy.
I did that once and it happened, and people were like very mad at me. It was great.
Yes, and rightfully so, Joel.
No, man, she's wonderful. Tamina's the best.
Come on.
I don't care about her wrestling acumen. I care about that she's like the nicest, sweetest person in the whole universe. And she's
She is that by all accounts. Yes, she is that.
Give her
Joel,
title,
man, I'm glad we were able to get you on here for these two matches. I really appreciate it. We've got Sean Radican waiting in the wings to come on and join us. I'm going to take your advice, and next time we do this, it is going to be a group hangout. It's going to be a blast. Appreciate it. But Joel, really quick before you leave, though, plug all of the work that you're doing over at Fightful. You got a ton on your plate, man, and it's all really solid. So go for it.
Thank you. Well, first of all, Zach, thanks for having me. This is always a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we get to chop it up during these shows. I'm at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl, on all forms of social media, mostly on Twitter, but once in a while I'll post stuff on Instagram. It's usually the more private and music stuff that I do. But yeah, you can follow me there. For Fightful, every Thursday night, I'm hosting the Post-Impact Show with Cresta Star. Her and I break down the Impact Show. We joke around a little bit, but that's every Thursday night, 10:10 Eastern, over on youtube.com/Fightful. And I'm also the channel manager, content creator, whatever you want to call it, over at Fightful Overbooked. Some of you are like, what the hell is that? That is basically a channel that is the overflow content from Fightful that isn't on the main channel, but it's kind of like our developmental system. So we have a lot of people who come in and they give their opinions and talk about wrestling in their own ways. We have a lot of really great programming there. So I urge you to check it out at youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked. I host a show there every Sunday at noon Eastern. The reason being, I just don't want anyone to find us. So Sundays at noon Eastern, myself and my friend Tim. Tim is a lapsed fan. We talk about wrestling. I want his opinion over anybody else's because guess what? He's casual. He's not going to be the guy reading the Torch or reading the Observer or reading Fightful Select. He just comes in and he watches the show and he's a storyteller and he likes what he sees and he doesn't like what he doesn't like. So it's good stuff. Noon Eastern every Sunday. So tomorrow we'll be breaking down this show right now. And that's
what does he like most lately?
He likes stories that don't insult your intelligence. He likes cohesive storytelling. And he likes silly, stupid stuff, which I totally get on board with that. And you know what, with AEW stuff, we will talk it through every week and talk about the stuff that works, that doesn't work, and how sometimes some of the inside baseball can get to him because he doesn't follow that. So for him, it's like, why should I have to go and read all of these, all these reports when that's not part of the show that I'm watching? So stuff like that is what you'll get from Tim. I think it's an
very
important,
interesting.
I think it's a very important take to have because he's not someone who's sitting in a chat with us right now. He would be someone who is watching on his own time and just doing his own thing.
Yeah, that is a cool take to have. That's good stuff. So, all right, noon Eastern, right?
Noon Eastern over on Fightful Overbooked.
Noon Eastern. All right, Joel. Hey, thanks so much for joining me, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll do this again real soon.
Absolutely. Hey, chat. Thanks again. You guys are wonderful. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Joel Pearl. And once again, welcome to the PWTorch Extreme Rules Torchcast here on YouTube. Glad you guys are all here. It's been a blast so far. We got two matches left to go. And, I think this should be pretty exciting. And to help us through this next one, long-time PWTorch columnist and a good friend of mine and mentor in a lot of ways, Sean Radican. Welcome, my friend. What's going on?
How are you?
Doing good. What do you think of Extreme Rules so far? You're not so high on the finishes, I see.
No, not after last night. But
yeah, right. Oh, did Bianca Belair and Bayley live up to what you wanted to see from them?
Yeah, that was a good match.
Yeah,
I could have done without another match with, I guess it is Extreme Rules, and that's their excuse to have run-ins in every single match. But just about. But
there's been a lot of them, or they're trying to take after some of last night's finishes. I go ahead.
I was gonna say, like if you use run-ins to set up something else, that's one thing, but it's like just the redundance of them in wrestling in general these days, and a lot of them, in AEW and WWE, like tonight, just as you'd like to see dial it back a little bit,
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I
Because
think
we
you're
went
right.
through that, like, the UK show, there was, the main event had I can't remember every match had interference, but I just remember, Tyson Fury got involved and Austin Theory got involved in the Reigns McIntyre match, and it's like
And Theory had gotten involved in like the SummerSlam Brock match too, not to any sort of real consequence, but it happened,
Yeah.
Well, let's hit the chat here really quick. A couple things. Hazan, I want to know what told me what. I just want to make sure I know what I'm being ragged on for on that. And then we were talking, Sean, before you hopped on. Where do you go now with Bianca Belair? The men's titles are unified. Like, do you see a possibility of Paul Levesque going, hey, you know what? Let's unify these women's world championships too, and running Ronda and Belair at Survivor Series? Is that in the cards?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Would you run with Bianca versus Ronda at Survivor Series to unify the women's world titles?
No.
Yeah.
Why? Just because?
Well, because you have the men's ones unified. Okay, and then, but also more importantly than that, I don't know what you do with Bianca in the meantime. She's worked pretty much everybody on Raw. So, we're not. The idea would be, hey, what's next? Well, you could run that match if you really.
Yeah, but if they're doing 2 War Games matches, why do they have to run that on that show?
Good point. That's a good point.
That's what I
mean, and they have kind of set up. Yeah, they've set that up.
Triple H just said, we'll have a men's and a women's in the storylines. We'll have all the men and women going into it. So if all the men and women are in a storyline for those 2 matches, why would they put Ronda Rousey versus Bianca Belair on that show? If it's on that show, it's not gonna really matter so much as you know what I mean? It's just.
No, I do. It's a good point.
They're not going to get it's not going to get the shine because so much attention is going to be on those other 2 matches.
Yep, that's a good point. Okay, Hazan, yes, the rabbit suit. You were right. You did call that. No question. So Sean, I've been asking everybody that has joined us tonight. Are you expecting like a full-on White Rabbit payoff or something halfway
tonight.
Or no?
Yeah, it better be.
Well, I know, but I mean, they I don't know. Like they're it's WWE. They've known to kick the can down the road every so often. And how do you do it in a fight pit, though?
In a what?
How do you pay that off? Like if it's going to happen in the main event and the fight pit's going on last, like that's kind of a tough way to pay that off, perhaps.
Guess we'll see.
But yeah, because I think it has to happen in the main event. But yeah, we'll see here.
The way the video went, I don't know. Did I miss anything after the first video and early in the show?
No.
Has there been another one since? I mean, it seems like
Yeah, there's been a White Rabbit in the background, but it'll
be here tonight.
Yeah. What are you predicting for this match here, Edge and Finn Balor? I quit.
Man, they put so much time into Balor and that group that I think he has to win this match, and just run the crew out, and they'll just
another run-in.
Yeah, or they'll be with him, so it won't be a run-in.
Yeah, true.
And maybe Mysterio will come out to try to even the odds or whatever, but
being a long-term New Japan fan, you've seen Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, the years that he was in Bullet Club before WWE, he just I thought he was just so good as a heel, and so good as a leader of the group. And you're not seeing it full on here, but you're seeing glimpses of it. And it's just the guy has so much range as a performer, and I think back to like 2013 New Japan and like the G1 that year, and he's in it, and like he not only did he have some classics, but man, he came across as just like a big time star at that time.
Looks like he's getting ready to DJ a show.
Yeah, he does. Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your favorite Prince Devitt match in New Japan?
I don't. Oh boy, I'd have to go back and look.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you just think about it and let me know. I'm excited. I'm not excited. I want to see what they do here, but I kind of am like you, man. I'm like, you put a lot of time into this, and you probably want to give him the win just to keep that momentum going, because otherwise, that group is kind of dead in the water, and they've been getting a lot of time on Raw.
I think it's been like a blander version of them too, like
right
in terms of how it's heel speak, but it's not like true character passion when he comes through on his promos. It's just
yes,
I'm playing the character that they want me to play, and this is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yep.
Just a weird that this is still could. It's just weird that they started this whole thing with Edge as the leader of the group, and like his own group turned on him, like a month after, 2 months after, however long. It wasn't long.
It wasn't long, and now it's like
now Edge is just a face because this diabolical guy, just because his evil friends turned.
Well, and like I don't know, man. I just didn't. I never bought. I think everybody knows his story so much. They know it's hard to just dislike Edge. It's hard to buy him doing all this like dark, twisted stuff, because you know his story so much, and it's that was a miss all the way. Like I think like Edge is a big star, but I actually think Judgment Day is like mid card at best. But I think they're better off without Edge, to be honest, because it just didn't. You just couldn't buy it with Edge involved.
Well, yeah, because you sit there wondering why is Finn Balor, like you would have.
Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah. True. Yeah, it's a good match. This is a good match. Good call, Marcus. Devitt and Ibushi, Wrestle Kingdom 8. Yeah, it's hard to argue against that one. It's a good match.
That's probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, it's
I would like I started watching like right after he left, so I've gone back and watched chunks of it, but I haven't seen like everything he did. I started watching heavy in 2014.
Yeah. What made you what turned you onto it? Was it like the Ring of Honor integration? Was that happening at that time?
No, just more so the people raving about G1 the year before, and I had kept hearing about it, but I'm like, oh, I can't stand it because it's just just all the Japanese commentary. But it's like people were going so crazy for it. I was like, I gotta try and see if I can watch this, because
there
wasn't.
And at the time, you couldn't watch it with English commentary either. It was like
you couldn't, but it was really expensive to watch on I forget, it was on a streaming service. So the package was like $200 or something from.
Wow, no kidding, really?
For G1, yeah. And like,
jeez, I didn't know
that was
that.
Like back then. It was like I think it was 9 or 10 nights back then too, and it was like. So I was like, well, I don't want to, like, you had to wait to see if you could get get it online or something somewhere before, if you didn't have the pay-per-view package. And it was all
because like not everything was streaming so smoothly in 2014 either.
No, it wasn't. Like these were all right. Like James Caldwell got the package in 2014, and he let me watch his use his password to view G1, and I did all the reports that year, and then just pretty much never stopped after that. I was watching a little bit before that, like some of the best of the Super Juniors, like because guys from the Indies like Ricochet were going over there.
Right. Yep.
And having really, and some other guys having really good, like best of this, like in the junior division, but like it wasn't so much the. I don't. I kind of started watching, like, I don't remember if it's the same time as they went to Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Was that in 2014 or later?
Yeah, it might have been like right at the same time as they started coming to Ring of Honor.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure it was 2014. Like they started, like they did their first big show. I think it might have been. I can't remember. If someone can correct me, but it might have been like in my head. It was like later in the year. They did like a big joint show, and they had
yeah,
maybe October, November. I'm thinking, but I could be wrong. But on the timeline, but it was in the same. Yeah, definitely in the same year.
Yeah.
I remember they actually did a true show. Like they did Steen, and one of the matches was Steen and Nakamura. Like they did like true, and they never really went back to it too much. Putting good ROH guys against good New Japan guys, but like that show in particular, I think they did a multi-man Okada title defense. It was Steen, and if I'm remembering correctly I know there's definitely Steen and Nakamura was like just a huge deal at the time.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know that I've seen that match.
And
here you go. Does this agree? Pretty sure 2014 was the first ROH New Japan Global Wars show. Yeah, I think you might be right about that.
But,
the match right now, first of all,
it's like Edge is having trouble getting through the ropes.
Yeah, it did. And also Chris's point here, the ref is like in their face with that damn microphone all the time too. I get that they want to like see if they want to say I quit, but I don't know. That's kind of obnoxious. But
I muted it so I could hear you better. Not muted it, but I turned the sound down on the show.
Well, they're not even saying anything. It's just the ref standing around holding the microphone.
I could see. Yeah, now I see it.
In his face. And they're not even they're not saying like no or anything like that. So yeah, this is interesting. Someone's gonna have to go back and run and count that, Dr. Ross, because
I don't remember doing that during the Lesnar match at SummerSlam was the same stipulation, wasn't it?
Was that that was last man standing?
Oh, it was last man standing. All right.
Yeah, it was last man standing / first one to drive a forklift or whatever the hell that thing was that Lesnar had.
I was like, this is like, I don't like these matches too much usually, just because it's just so annoying. Like the ref with his mic, like the whole match is just.
I can't unsee it now either. Like it's like I'm just constantly seeing this referee hovering around, and I think if he's gonna do it, you gotta have to have the guys.
You gotta constantly cut back and forth the whole match between the ref and the action, like get that WWE effect.
Yeah, it does, and I don't think that adding, like, yeah, you want the ref to be around, and sure, okay, he can be holding a microphone, but like
it's like right in the shot.
Yeah, right. It's like in the shot, and I think at one point he was even holding it in front of the wrong guy's face. Like Edge was the one delivering the submission move, and they had him. They had the referee holding it in front of him to say I quit, and they're not even acknowledging. Like Edge is just not acknowledging this microphone. This is. I feel like I've been ranting about this one for a while.
Like this to me is like. He puts the ref down. You hear him grunting. Like, is this like? Do people like this? Like,
or it just doesn't serve a perp. Yeah. Yes.
Right. That's my favorite part of the I Quit match is the grunting, the way they pretend they can't talk, so they just grunt.
Yes. What do you think about this? Sean, are matches like this one harder for the live audience to watch? Chris jumping in on a chat asking that question. Have you ever seen a I Quit match live?
I can't remember if I did. That shows you how good they are.
I think it is difficult. I mean, I think it is because look, even right now, if you're brawling over here,
the thing is, like, they're not going to quit like right away, and there's no build up to the quit. There's just like a constant asking and asking and asking, and you know what I mean? And like,
right. Well, and even here, it's like, I mean, I guess you could have him quit out here, but half the people can't.
Yeah,
more
like
than half
live,
people can't see it.
Most of the building's probably watching something.
Yeah, right. Watching it on the screen. Watching on the screen. Oh, there. Thank you, Tracy. Sean appreciates that. Sean is the best.
Thanks, Tracy.
Sean is the best.
Paid advertisement.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Tracy. And then once again, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. The comments in the chat are great. Good questions, and it's just been a blast. And PWTorch.com, and you can go VIP, PWTorch.com/go VIP. Ooh, jeez. Is Edge is he like kind of like? Is he going to max out at this level now, Sean? You think, or do you see a way he can kind of revisit the top tier of the cards, like wrestling for the world?
I'm sure he can at any time. You just put him in there.
But like, do you think it makes sense? Like,
I still feel like they have a star-making issue, so
yeah,
I'd keep him in the top tier. I mean, I don't like Triple H's idea of a star.
Meaning,
or just by the types of talents he's recruited, like bringing back Karrion Kross. I mean,
yeah,
he wrestles like I said on Twitter. It's like it was like the worst of his WrestleMania matches. Like now I can see why he likes him. It's just this like slow, dull, plodding match every time. Except like Karrion Kross never turns it up like Triple H would for certain matches, But like, man, it's just like you're bringing him back, and it's like, I don't know. It's just like, to me, it's just like really boring, and it doesn't do a lot for me. I know some people, he has his fans, but I don't see it. Like, I don't see people heaping praise on him anywhere.
I mean, I think he's
outside of there's people that like him, but you say why, and they're like, "Oh, he's good," and like
I mean, he's got a character, but that's really it. I mean, his matches, I think.
Yeah, but he's like he was wearing that helmet earlier this year, wasn't he?
Oh. Was that this year?
I think so. It might not. Maybe it was, but it was.
It wasn't that long ago.
Wasn't that long ago. But it's like he comes back, and it's like you're just supposed to forget. You bring a guy back and you're supposed to just forget everything they did to him before he left, like just not that long ago. It's like you could do that with some people, like the Fiend. You could probably, like, if you did him correctly, you could probably make people forget like how awful it was, like how off the rails bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, you could. But that mask,
like him, like it's hard to forget that.
It is, and that mask was so awful. Where it's like,
it's just weird to me. I don't know why he's so boring in WWE. I mean, I've seen him. He's done Bloodsport before, and he was like pretty good in that when he just upped his physicality. But it's not something he does normally, I guess.
Did he work Barnett? Who did he work on that show?
I can't remember, but it might have been Barnett. I have to go back and I just stands out in my mind because like I saw him in that and I was like, oh, this guy, he could be pretty good. And then it's like, it's just it's a character, but it's not like an interesting one. It's just all abstract, dark, like just the lazy characterization of a dark character. It's just there's nothing has been there's been no build of his character. He just came back and he's got you know what I mean, like there's no video, like they don't do video packages anymore to build up characters, really. It's just
no,
throw them out and put them in matches.
They wanted the surprise factor for him. And
Well, I mean, I just meant in general, like just with
okay.
And his character kind of suffers from that a little bit because if he, I would have done the same thing as they did, throw him out as a surprise, but
Sure.
they could have done more. Like why is he so dark?
Even after the fact, like, okay, fine, you have him surprised.
I mean, I know it's an extension of his NXT character, but as we found out, like, not many people were watching that on the WWE network.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, and if it didn't draw on NXT or I mean, I would say that it wasn't a drawing act in NXT. They lost on Wednesday nights. A couple questions here. Is Wade okay? Yes, Wade's okay. He's on vacation this weekend, so we a vast array of people are holding down the fort in various ways. But Brand, thanks for checking in on him. Marcus, when you say that these are always a lot of fun, just when you say these, is it the Extreme Rules show or is it I Quit matches? I want to get some feedback on that.
I think he means the watch-alongs.
Oh, Matt, maybe. Oh, do you mean the watch-alongs? Okay, got it. That would make sense too. Well, and that would certainly appreciate that. But let me know. Thank you. Oh man, I want to ask you about the watch-alongs. Okay, you're right, Sean. Thank you. And thank you, Marcus. That means a lot. Appreciate it. I'm glad you do. I like doing them, and I know Sean likes joining, and everybody else does too. So appreciate you being here. So, Sean, the situation with the White Rabbit. What are your expectations of that as we sit here now, probably a match away from seeing that? Like, what has to happen for you to walk out of there going, all right, that was a success?
I don't even. It's weird how people will say, well, I want to, WWE doesn't do enough to supply me with background, and like they've used what do they use, like Klingon language or something from a TV show for one.
Oh, is that what that was? Oh my god!
And whatever it was something like that along those lines. But these people who complain, and rightfully so, but still, they will go to the end of the earth to follow these little clues, like stuff embedded in video code, and you know what I mean?
Yes, or HTML code too.
The same people that say, "I want a video package," I don't get it. Well, we've seen what you can do with very little information on your hands. I don't get that. Stuff that doesn't need explaining, people want to explain. You know what I mean? That type of thing. I just think he needs to come out and just lay waste to anyone in his way and stand tall and and hopefully something something new, maybe something newer, even and darker to his character. Yeah. I don't know how much darker they can go than some of the stuff they did before.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know either. But my bar here for it is a lot went into the build, right? There's
got to be something amazing,
Yeah, it has to be on that.
I think it's just going to be something that's visually amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that works, but it just can't be okay, there's a White Rabbit on the
I mean, hopefully it's not him and oh shoot, the guy that's been after you know what I mean,
Dexter. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not him and I've read some people think he's connected with 2, 3, 4 other characters, and it would make sense. But goodness, if it's him, if it's them sacrificing the mids to their gods or something like that.
No.
I'll be pretty upset.
Yes. Yeah. I think a lot of people will be
but at the same time, I was thinking about this. It's like it's just so there's like dark characters on the show now, like Karrion Kross and Dexter Loomis and Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they're not all working together, there's just like these like dark forces on islands. Like in what work of fiction do you know where dark forces don't work together? So like it would make sense that WWE would book like a bunch of heelish like horror-esque facts like with tinges of horror and darkness and just have like them all on islands onto themselves with separate agendas.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it really would. Here we go. Now we get some of that interference. You're talking about run-ins, just like you like, Sean. Ashley, thanks for joining us. Really glad you're here. Really glad you're here. Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on the White Rabbit, Ashley. So, what do you think? What do you think's gonna happen with that? Because I'm not sure. I just think it needs to be huge. Whoa!
I called this.
You did. You certainly did. And I don't. I mean,
that was cool. You just spared them all.
Yeah, that was a good spot, man.
Like I was like a huge fan of The Fiend. Like I know people didn't like it was like a guilty pleasure. I know it was bad, but it's just like I like horror and you know what I mean?
Sure. Oh yeah. Well,
it was so bad, but it's like I'm so excited he's coming back. But even though I have this like feeling it's going to be like just more of the same.
Well, like, do you think it will be The Fiend again, or something just different,
or an iteration of it, or just whatever his next metamorphosis is?
And I just hope that they can like book him in a way that makes all that makes sense. Like, part of the thing is Bray Wyatt, and then he jobs to Cena and he jobs to all these guys, and it's like, what can
he lose his first match like as the Fiend?
He lost, or I don't know about the Fiend. He lost at WrestleMania to John Cena, like right out of the gate. Which I was like, why? Like, I don't get that one. Well, Edge, you're in a bit of a pickle right now. And Edge, of course, has no friends out there, guys. None. Nobody likes Edge. Enter Rey Mysterio probably at some point, maybe.
Dominic looks so much like the character on Eastbound and Down.
He does. He does.
Like just using different hair product. I can't remember his name on the show off the top of it. The main character.
AJ Styles is definitely gonna make a run in here too. No question.
Are they like? Did I miss something? Did Ray and AJ like die on TV or something?
No, they didn't. That's why I'm like,
they're just chilling backstage.
Where are they? They both. I mean, for sure, AJ. I mean, I guess you can maybe make this case that Ray's not going to come out because whatever, he doesn't want to fight Dominic, but AJ though, come on. Oh man, he's whipping him with that. That's the problem with this show, Battlebrand, is that this is a good card, but I'm almost desensitized to the extreme matches. I wish we got more gimmick matches throughout the year instead of all at once. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the issue with these theme shows. I mean, that's what you get. Oh, here he comes. There we go. It took him a while. But wait, the referee's still there with the microphone. Everything's good.
I can't let him quit.
Yeah.
Like now, this is a proper run-in.
Yes.
Like last night, Samoa Joe and Brian Cage ran in at the end, and it was like the world's shortest ramp, and they looked like they were gassed. Like just
no, Brian Cage was gassed. Oh, Dominic just clocked his father. Wow. Kind of, I'm a little surprised that happened.
He's got some aces and eights vibes to him.
Yeah, he does. He does. The vest.
Ship him over to Impact. Bubba's back.
I liked that show last night.
I didn't see it yet, but I read the.
It's a good
result.
I think it's a good show.
I'm a little concerned about the Misfit Ring of Honor booking crew making its way over to Impact.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're
Like,
right.
how did those guys make it over?
Dominic, what do you think about this Dominic stuff right now, Sean? I mean,
It's tearing at my heartstrings.
are you about to cry?
Yeah.
You always text me that. Are you crying? I'm asking you.
I'm saving my tears for the Fiend.
Yes, okay. All right.
Just like that part of the match where you just want it to be over.
Right, I know. Oh, man.
I mean, we've seen so much of this stuff, like, you know, tonight.
Whoa. Is that Beth Phoenix? Oh, yeah. Beth Phoenix is in. This is running like crazy. Oh, you guys are hilarious in the chat here. Marcus, it's like Aces and Eights meets Olive Garden. Wait. Great. Tracy, when the microphone and dysfunctional families meet. Yes. Epic. That's good. Oh, this is interesting. Little Rhea Ripley and Beth Phoenix showdown.
Boy, Ripley's gotten jacked.
Yeah. I hope she can. Have you heard anything about her health? Like, as to like what's up with it?
Rhea's?
Yeah, because she's been. I don't think she's wrestled a match in a long time.
No, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, here she goes. Man, that was they got a pretty good pop for Rhea and Beth.
This side of Beth Phoenix is like so much better than her actual character was when she was a full-time performer.
Oh, for sure.
She was just kind of like this, like, stock. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Good in-ring wrestler, but like super bland.
Well, and like she never even got to really show her, you know, what she
like
could,
any side
what she
of her
could do.
personality.
Yeah, her personality, nothing in the ring either. Oh, here we go.
But like his Edge's like crazy wife, she's great.
Yeah, she's good.
I don't know if crazy wife's the good word. But what is it? I guess she's just kind of like melted it, like, or molded that rated R superstar, like taking on his personality.
Yeah, I mean she's badass for sure. Oh man, this is pretty good. I'm liking the drama here. Yeah, I am too, Ashley. Here for Ripley versus Beth. Oh, sorry about you there, Dominic. Beth looks incredible tonight. Yeah, she does.
I'm like 10 seconds behind.
Okay, all right. I'll try to keep that in check.
It's all right. I knew it was coming the way they're setting it up. Jeez.
See, the crowd really loves Edge. The crowd is
Tanahashi a check. Tanahashi-san. My New Japan sub was down to $6.93 this month. That's like a really bad sign of the strength of the yen these days.
Really? That's
used to be like equal, you know, like
yeah.
Used to be about $10. Now it's like I think it was like 6 or maybe a little over 7.
Wow, I gotta check mine now too. Dude, I don't know. I don't think Finn Balor might be saying I quit here.
I only happened to notice it go through the other day.
Oh boy. Rhea's back. Oh, just as I try to call a pivot here. Ooh, Rhea with the brass knucks to Beth Phoenix. Wow. Do you think they'll do Beth versus like Rhea in Saudi Arabia or something like that? Will she come back for that kind of payday?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't, right? Well, I mean, a lot of people shouldn't. But I mean, if you're going to come back, that's probably when you are going to do it.
I can't believe people go, like, people vacation, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people go, was it Dubai?
Dubai, yeah. I mean, and
It's like,
I mean, Riyadh.
this
I
guy
think
I
people
know
go there
went
too.
to Dubai. I was like, I'd be terrified.
Well, people go to Riyadh also. Like, you know, I mean, oh man, now Balor's got the mic. Where is AJ Styles? The crowd loves Edge. There's something that, you know, you can't overlook that.
What did he say?
He said, "Go to hell."
Oh,
Oh, and now they're gonna. Yeah, they teased it going this way for sure. And this will be how it wraps, I think. Oh, you're right, Azan. I forgot about that. And AJ Styles was mad at Ray.
you know what?
Yeah,
I
he
was
was.
thinking. I was like earlier when they were brawling. I was thinking they got to get to the part where they got to make the guy quit to save someone. I totally forgot about Beth.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are. I mean, it's the only way Edge would ever say it, I think. The only way they could pay it off. There you go. Now, in true heel fashion, will they do it anyway? Metal Brand and I are on the same wavelength there. Hope she does it anyway. There's some heat in that for sure. Yep, there it is. That's a pretty good angle. I mean, that's a pretty good like story.
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty heavy.
Yeah. And I think it, you know,
They need
Judgment Day is.
They need to bring the Hell in the Cell back around. No.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we need another one. I mean, they gotta like. I think there. I mean, there's legit heat. It sounds like, and you know this.
Yeah, the crowd. They're all gasping and everything.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a strong. I think that's a strong angle.
Really was.
Sure. Yeah, good stuff. And there's Ray, and yeah. All right, Sean, man. Well, I kept you longer than I said I would. We got another guest coming up here soon. But before we go, dude, you've been just a part of the Torch for so long, and someone that helped get me into what I'm doing. So obviously I want to thank you for that. But plug all your stuff, plug all that you're doing, and anything upcoming for you.
Follow my work on PWTorch, go VIP, and follow me on SR_Torch. I cover New Japan, AEW, Ring of Honor when it comes around. I guess. I'm so used to saying I'm a Ring of Honor specialist. I guess I don't know what it is now.
Well,
it exists in the AEW universe.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh man, that's a whole nother. Oh my goodness.
WWE roundtables, written ones after the show for VIP members in the newsletter. News updates periodically when I can as well on the site. Everything. I do it all. I don't know how did I get my hand into. I just wanted to cover Ring of Honor.
Well, you're good at what you do, man, and there's plenty of people out there that appreciate it.
That's Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. SR_Torch on Twitter, correct?
Yep. And,
awesome. Well, Sean, thanks for joining us.
Everyone.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just hit 19 years. Yeah,
19 years. Holy crap, man!
In June, yeah.
That's insane. That is crazy. 19 years. I mean, dude, there's so much stuff. I mean, just so many things happen. I just can't imagine 19 years. Like, given all the news of this year alone, it's like 19 years. Like, holy hell!
It's been a lot. Just watching the back issues pop up, I'm like, oh, I won't pop up yet in the newsletter because I was just covering Ring of Honor. Like the O2s are going up.
But yeah, right. Yep, the 20 years. Yeah,
I don't think
20
I'm in
years.
anything till 04 maybe for newsletter stuff.
Oh man.
But,
Here you go. Marcus dropping a line. True story. Sean's work played a big part of inspiring me to try out for the Torch. So thank you, Sean.
Oh, thanks, Marcus.
Me too.
It is weird. Like, I haven't been to a show in a while since the pandemic started. Like, I'd go to shows and like people would recognize me just off my voice.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I can totally imagine. You're on everything.
I don't even think of it though. You know, it's like you know what I mean. It's like I do it because I enjoy wrestling so much and covering it and analyzing it, and it's nice to know like people won't necessarily reach out to you to tell you they like. I'll get emails periodically like, oh, I've read you for read your stuff for years, but I haven't reached out. And sometimes, you'll just see like you'll get the negative comments a lot. Like,
right.
People won't tell you, but like, it is really nice to see people saying nice things, and following the work, and like the new generations here now with you and Rich and Todd and everyone. It's like I'm the last, like besides Wade, I'm the last one left from when I started, which is kind of crazy. Like,
that is crazy. And you're still here.
Yeah, I never thought like it would get a complete overhaul like 20 years later to the, of course Wade was still here, but you know what I mean though? It's like,
yeah, man, 20 years is a long time. 19 years is a long time, but hey, thanks very much, man.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Appreciate you guys. Take care, guys.
Appreciate you, Sean. See you.
Take care.
PWTorch columnist Sean Radican, everybody, joining us on the show. Really great to have him on, and man, you guys are all dropping it in the chat here, so I don't have to, but Sean's work is just, it's unmatched. Hazan, great work, Sean. Hope to hear from you soon. Tracy with the thanks, Sean, and just great stuff from him. Glad to have him on. We got one match left, I believe, and that is the Fight Pit, which we're seeing graphics for right now. First of all, I gotta keep going with this Finn Balor Judgment Day angle with Edge. To me, that was probably like as best as that could have gone. I think that was a good dramatic angle that got heat, and that sometimes that's rare. And they got it. They made it look dramatic, and they made it look good. And I think that Judgment Day was elevated because of that angle. So here's what you guys have to say here too. I'm gonna ping our next guest here and see when he or she will be joining us. But guys, before we get into this last match, those of you in the chat right now, hello. Thank you for being with us. This is the PWTorch Extreme Rules Torchcast, live throughout the whole darn show. Just hanging out, shooting the breeze, throwing back a couple cold ones or whatever your drink of choice is, alcohol or otherwise, and just hanging out, talking wrestling, talking the show, and having a good time. So thank you. If it's your first time checking us out, we do this for every single WWE pay-per-view, PLE, excuse me. And like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate that. We've been working hard to grow this community this year. And so, really, it's just been a blast. And everybody in the chat, I think, hopefully can speak to that. And some of our regulars, Hazan, Tracy, Marcus, Dr. Ross, Metal Brand. Ashley, it's really, really cool to kind of get this longer form time. Like sometimes during the week when we're doing our preview shows on YouTube, or even when we're hosting the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling post shows, you get like a few minutes, but here it's been really cool to spend a longer amount of time with you guys and really just kind of catch up, hang out, and talk wrestling, which is what we're all here for. So I thank everybody, and if it's your first time stopping by, stop in again and subscribe to the channel. All right, Dr. Ross has a big money bet on the line, plus 650 on, I think it was 15 pounds, right? So I could look this up, Dr. Ross, but what is 15 pounds? What is that into the American dollar? Just so we can all cheer for you here and know exactly what's at stake. It's a good run, man. It is a good run. So here, go Riddle. Who do you guys think are winning this match? I want to know. So drop just a quick hit. Riddle, Rollins, whatever you think that is. I'm gonna ping our scheduled next guest and see what happens here. So bear with me, but drop that in. I want to see kind of where everybody's at. Okay, guys, back at it. $16. Here we go. Okay, Dr. Ross, we're all there for you, man. We're there for you. Plus 650. All right, so we got a. Why don't who like the personal stuff here is on. Not sure what you're referencing. Hopefully nothing serious. I do like the personal stuff here. Another Riddle for Bran. No contest from Chris. What does everybody else think? I think this is Riddle too. I think Dr. Ross. I don't want to jinx it for Dr. Ross, right? But I think Riddle's got to go over here. You know, look, you've got Daniel Cormier. You've got. I think he's going to be a part of a, kind of like a babyface type angle and a babyface type finish. So I kind of think that's where this is going to go. Plus, you have this White Rabbit deal going on, and so we haven't seen anything yet, and so if that's going to happen, it's going to happen here. And so I doubt they're going to go anywhere near Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins again, right? Because of everything that happened with that. I just, for that reason, it kind of leaves Riddle as the only guy that can be involved in that. If they bring him in and do this thing as an angle that's going to build to what Bray Wyatt against Riddle, I guess. Or they just have him come out and that's it. So I don't know, but I think either way, Riddle takes this. And yeah, Ashley, I'm with you. We're got to go Riddle, but interested to see what happens with both going forward. The other reason why I think Riddle is going to win this match is Seth has a big match Monday night, so he's kind of protected because of his booking, where it's so yeah, he may lose this match, but then he's going right into a United States Championship match against Bobby Lashley. So still high level stuff. So I think he's kind of the bookings protected him there. Oh, look at that. Braun Breaker in the house, man. Triple H is just feeding his own show. But honestly, okay. I'm going to get to the Riddle stuff in a minute. Why not do that with Braun Breaker, right? It's crazy that Vince McMahon wasn't doing that with his talent. You have these shows, and so put the top NXT guys on them. Not on them to wrestle, but on them to just showcase them. Maybe there'll be something that attracts an audience to that person, whether it's Braun Breaker or somebody else, but why not use your time on there to your television time to help drive a product, and not only a product, but a product that's going to populate the main roster, in years to come. I think it's a smart call. Anyway, okay, back to this match and back to the White Rabbit and back to Seth Rollins. Seth has protection because he's got the championship match coming up. So for that reason, I think he does the job here. And then he's going to move on. He's moving on to Lashley, I think, at least for a week, actually. The Riddle is that's a whole different question to debate. Like, because where does he go? If Seth, like Bobby Lashley is the United States champion, right? He's got the main men's singles title on Raw. So what do you do with Riddle? Riddle's not going to wrestle him. I don't think they're not going to have a big feud. It's babyface versus babyface. And so it's like, what do you do with that guy? I don't know. Maybe it's a move to SmackDown at some point to kind of just freshen things up. And so it kind of makes me think that they will go to Riddle against whatever this Bray Wyatt deal is going to be with the White Rabbit. Actually, I think that the way this is set up tonight, that would be my prediction. If you're asking me to call it right now, or if anybody is, nobody is, but maybe somebody is. That's what I would say it's going to happen, because he doesn't have a clear path elsewhere, and we haven't seen Wyatt yet. Now you have a main event chance to debut him in a big way after a big Riddle win. It's kind of like everybody wins, I mean, Seth Rollins, he was doing the RVD pose. Am I missing something with the gear there? Like, what am I missing with the gear, guys? Somebody in the chat, let me know. Not sure I'm liking like the color on the top of that fight pit, like neon green and pink and blue for like a fight pit. Like, this is like, it's like the red Hell in a Cell cage. Can't you just make it a damn cage? Like, God, jeez. RVD coming back? Oh my God. Yes, there it is. Hassan, always count on you, man. Like, to can always count on you to know those details. Good stuff. Marcus, same thing. Good stuff, you guys. Thank you. All right, guys, here we go. The main event. It's going to go over 3 hours, 6 matches. I'm just glad it's not going to be 11:30 Central Time when the show gets off the air, because, oh boy, that's a lot for everybody. This is going to be a smooth 3 hours plus. I don't think it's going to be 3.5 hours, and so I give it a thumb. I give the time here a thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Too cute with the matching PLE colors on the top of the cage. Way too cute. Like, you're so right. It's like, what the hell are you guys? I mean, nothing screams cartoon than that on top of what you're calling a fight pit. Come on, Paul Levesque. You're better than that. Yeah, he has been. You're right, Marcus. He's been doing some great work in Noah. I don't know. I don't know that he can work in WWE, if you know what I mean, given what he enjoys doing. Not that it's crazy that you have to say that in 2022, but it is WWE, and I think they still test for that, I believe. I think it's part of the health and wellness program for WWE. But anyway, I digress. Azan, you're somebody, Marcus, you probably know better than I do. Azan, I want to make sure, like, you're all good, right? Like, my bad, that was way about the personal stuff. So just check in with me on that. I want to make sure that you're good and still, loving coming here. Right, Marcus? The neon lights around the cage remind me of some raves I've been to back in the day. Yeah. I don't know. I think I probably have been to what is classified as a rave, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. That's okay. The next WrestleMania Torch event is, matching PLE colors rave. somewhere in LA, WrestleMania weekend. Oh my gosh. Someone's going to want that to happen. So the Fight Pit, also, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they start at the top when they did it in NXT? Like they had to start on the top of that structure. I think they did. But correct me if I'm wrong. Right. Hazan. Okay. Yeah, I think that was Wade. To each their own, right? But thank you, Hazan. Does anybody remember that about NXT? I think I'm going to try to look it up right now because to me that oh, Marcus, a torch rave, goodness, man. I feel like this thing's going to, like, you know, if we keep going with it on April 1st or whatever, we're all going to be at a torch rave. But I kind of hope not, though, too. Like, you know, what's wrong with just like a chill bar, right? Exactly, Metal Brand. Yes, I very much agree. Look way cooler, intimidating, intimate, like in a dangerous way, I think, too. So yeah. I'm gonna post something on social media right here to get a poll going. Okay, so we've got another person who's in on the on the rave, Ashley M. Okay, all right, you're in, you're committed. You're committed. Boy, this idea is picking up steam. Don't do buffet like Dave, Brian, and Dave. No, we'll definitely want to stand alone on that. We want our idea to stand out on its own. So if that means rave, I suppose that's what it means. Gosh, WrestleMania is not that far away if you think about it. I will be in LA for WrestleMania, so that'll be fun. I've never been to LA before. So if anyone else is going to LA for WrestleMania, hit me up. We'll do some kind of torch gathering. You know, I guess it's going to be a rave now. I think the original idea was just post up at a bar somewhere and have a couple beverages. But I guess, hey, rave it is. So the match here is interesting. I don't want to call it out quite yet because I don't know for sure that they're going this way. But is there anything standing out to you guys from a match perspective in terms of how they have this thing set up? Because there's something just glaring to me that's sticking out. Well, yes, Brand, you got to have a roof over your head. No question. No question. So, okay, he just did it again. And so far, look, I really can't stand the colors of that cage. It's hard. It's just hard to take this thing seriously with that going on. But that aside, what stuck out to me on this is if you go back and watch this or watch it moving forward, guys, the Riddle and Rollins are both like acknowledging the cage's existence. Like they're constantly looking at it. They're constantly, you know, not just seeing where it is, but like almost addressing the fact, okay, that it's there. They have to be a little bit concerned about it, but also how can I use this thing to help me win this match? I think it's a nice touch because I think too often, especially like in WWE style cage matches, even Hell in a Cell, where you know you're not going to get like blood, for example, it's hard to really cultivate an environment where that cage matters. Here, I think they're doing a nice job of that because both guys are constantly just like glancing at it, and I think it's selling the match. Rollins, oh man, see, I was trying not to rant about this, but Seth Rollins should not be queuing up. Should not be queuing up the people singing his song. Like, that's so bad for him as a heel to work that way with a babyface like Riddle, who's trying to get made and who's likely going to get put over in this match. It's like, why are you doing that? Like, what's the thought process there if you're Seth? Seth is such a good worker. He knows better than that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, Seth Rollins is an incredible worker. There's no doubt about it. But I see stuff like that, and I'm like, man, there's just a disconnect. It's like either you don't care and you're just, going into the business for yourself in some ways, or you don't care and the company doesn't care. So you're just doing it because, look, you want engagement and it's cool when people sing your song. All right, fine. But Seth's like a pro wrestler, right? He's an indie guy. He comes from that world. Like, he knows better than that. I don't like when he does that because I think it really undercuts the baby faces that he's working with in this case. Riddle. Great point, Brent. Really good point. I just like that they can't escape the cage to win. And hopefully no one interferes in this match. I'd love to have a match stipulation that doesn't allow for run-ins. Yeah. Like two things on that. One, the first thing is you're right. They can't escape to win. It's got to be finished in the cage itself. That's a plus. Plus, this match is not marred by weird finishes. Like, because cage matches have been done in WWE for 40 years. Hell in a Cell has been done in WWE for over 20 years. And so this is not marred by anything like that. Like, it starts off from a fresh slate. And so I think it comes with the territory there that, like, you're not like beholden to the history of the match. Like, you can kind of just start fresh, for sure. And I think that's a big part. That's a big part of it. That's a good spot there. The Dr. Ross, man, you crack me up. I don't know how we would do these shows without you. The fans should be singing "Bro" as real stretch. They should be. Like, I know that, like, it's like maybe kind of a joke, but they absolutely should be. They should be mocking Seth instead of singing his song like they are now. It's just like, what's happening here? Look at this. Look at this. You got the baby face in the middle of the ring calling down the heel, and Rollins is up there like he's got the crowd on his side. Like, that's just bad work on his part. Here they go. Don't mess up the neon colors, fellas. Don't mess up the neon colors. It's our rave colors. You guys don't know this, but the Torch is going to completely rebrand their color scheme to those colors overnight. No, I'm kidding. Although, I don't know what Wade has planned in that regard, but if it's up to me, that will obviously not happen. Oh gosh, I'm getting loopy over here. So what kind of bumps can they do off the top of that? I know somebody like Seth Rollins walked up to that and goes, "Hey, all right, what can I do off this thing?" Or he would have anyway. I don't know what his bump card is looking like these days, but he would have. He was a guy that yeah, right. Exactly. All right, some viciousness here. All right, so guys, it's 9:59, so it's 10 o'clock. So it's 3-hour mark. We're about to cross the 3-hour mark here. No Bray Wyatt. I think they're probably in the third kind of act of the match, so to speak. And so I think it's we're about to see some things come to a head. Oh my God, on the top. Man, that's a cool little spot, huh? Oh, but they got Graves kind of selling that. Maybe it wasn't as bad as they saw it. Yeah, I kind of hope so too. Interfering in this match would be. That's a big match. Like this is a big match. This is your main event. Yeah, you can't I don't think you can be costing somebody the match here. I think it's Riddle wins and then Bray Wyatt appears. Like that's how this has to go, honestly. I mean, it really does. Oh man, okay. God, can you imagine like wrestling up there? I look at these guys and like, I don't know how wide do you think that platform is? Maybe like 3 feet, not even. It's crazy that they're up there tiptoeing around, doing what they're doing. The crowd here is interesting. Tell me what you guys think, but my perception here, listening to it, and I can't hear it as loud as I'd like to, but it seems to me that they're into this, but kind of waiting for that big spot, I guess. And I guess so am I, kind of like the big fight pit spot. Like the other, good move. The other fight pits were more like, brawling style, like the Timothy Thatcher style stuff. And this is different than that. Yes, right. Oh my gosh, Ashley, good point. Really good point. The Riddle does it all barefoot. That always amazes me for any of the wrestlers. Like Solo Sikoa was having a match on SmackDown last night, barefoot. I mean, he was taped up, but still, it's like, man, barefoot? My God, I don't even want to go for a walk barefoot, let alone have a wrestling match. Good point. Bray and Riddle would make sense with Riddle's connection with Randy and everything that happened during Randy's feud with Bray. That would make sense. And again, I run out of options for Riddle. Like, where does he go from here if it's not that? And so I think that's why it may very well be. Here's your spot. Here's your spot. Floating. I don't think that was a floating bro, Michael Cole. I just don't think that's what it was. Is that a floating bro? Hey, one can only hope. Dr. Ross. Big spot there. I think that's your big spot of the match. That's a good kind of like, I think it's a decent fight pit spot in that it's, it's not contrived. It's not flashy. It's not, it's just like, hey, one dude jumping on another dude, and I think that works. I think that works pretty well for this. Daniel Cormier, kind of non-factor. So that's coming, I would imagine, as well, right? Like, they made a huge deal about him being involved in this in some way, and he's involved, but like not really. He's just kind of around. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, they're running out of time. I don't think they'd go too much longer. So, we'll see. Maybe it's right here. Ooh. Oh man. Man, Riddle's taking some bumps in this match. Ooh, another one. Right. That's what I'm saying, Ashley. Yeah, you're right. Have they even exchanged words? I don't think so. I don't think they've exchanged words or anything like that. Wow. Huh. Well, that's interesting, I must say. I mean, I'm not talking, so I guess I'm at a loss. I'm not at a loss for words because it's not surprising that Riddle won the match. It just kind of felt out of nowhere, the finish a little bit, and you didn't have a lot of DC stuff, but it's clean. It was a submission. Fight pit made a lot of sense. So I think I'm where Dr. Ross is. Kind of strange, but it checks some boxes, and so I'll take it. And then and you go from there, but it came out of nowhere. I think that's the only thing. That's the only question that I have for it, which is like, okay, it was out of the blue. and it very much was out of the blue. Like all of a sudden, you have Rollins hitting him with this stuff, and then Riddle gets the triangle choke on there, which for him it makes sense because he's got that background, that MMA background, and DC's right there. So here you go. So people are very much, I think, waiting now. Yep. Are we still on the air? All right, here it comes. I think everybody's going to be kind of quiet for this one, watching what happens, including me, but I'll try to jump in. So they're singing that he's got the whole world in his hands gimmick. Fireflies, if you remember that. Whoa. Okay. Interesting. right, Metal Brand, yeah. So this is certainly intriguing. So I think I might be behind on you guys a little bit. So I'm still watching. If you guys have seen Bray Wyatt, let me know. Oh, there's someone in the Fiend mask. You guys crack me up. Hilarious, Marcus. Creepy AF. Yes, Ashley, it sure is. But it's mesmerizing too, though. I can't stop watching it. I'm trying to be quiet so you guys can take it in too. Oh, there's the buzzard. Interesting. Does that door symbolize anything, you guys? I can't really think of it out loud. How crazy is it that somebody thought all this up too? Like this is great character stuff. Oh. Ah, yes, thank you, Azan. He's back with the lantern. He's back with the lantern. Crowd is going pretty wild. Wow. Good pop. Another mask. Got to collect those merch checks if you're Bray Wyatt, right? Well, there you have it. There you have it. Bray Wyatt back in the WWE. Boy, I mean, well done. Well done. I think that without any kind of like direct storyline development, which that really didn't give any. Like he was non-factor. He didn't go after Seth. He didn't go after after Riddle. Like he was just very much like, this was just a debut, And to that end, I think it made good on being a really big deal. I think it was framed as a really big deal, and I think it was cool. I think it was just like a cool thing to see happen. I mean, to that end, I think that worked. And it was fun to watch, entertaining. He got a huge. I mean, that's a really big pop. It'll be interesting and be fun to see or hear from people that were in the building just how loud that pop was, because it was big. The only thing here is like, what does he do next? That has always been the issue with Bray Wyatt, is that you have these great ideas, you got this great character, and then your booking has just of him, whether he was like the swamp cult leader Bray Wyatt, or like the Bray Wyatt after that, or the Fiend, like you just didn't have him booked properly to make good on what he was saying, how he was acting, et cetera. Like, so, and I think that they're going to have that better taken care of here. I don't know that Vince McMahon just cared about that stuff, but it's clear that they put a lot of time into what they were doing, not just in that segment that we just saw, but just with all the, the QR codes and the rabbit and the all, the coordinates and all that stuff. Like, to me, that tells you that they're going to give this a real go, and I think that means presenting Bray Wyatt in the biggest way possible all the time. That doesn't mean have him, and that means probably means not to have him wrestle on a regular basis, because he needs to be special. He needs to be really special. Chris, I think this is a really good point. It's hard to do anything but short-term book with him. He has to stay strong, which can only last so long before it becomes stale. They got to watch. They got to watch for that. They got to be careful with it. I think they can do it if they just, I like the Firefly Funhouse. I thought that was cool, and I look forward to it. But they did him a lot, and I think they ran out of stuff to do with them. So what do you do after that? Well, then you burn it down, right, or something like that. Like, this should be a once, you gotta be careful with how you go about doing this. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the Torch and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I think that's what's at play. Like, I think, look, we all know, and Ashley points out here, like, Hollywood's sleeping on the mind of Wyndham, but I'm happy we have him. Yeah, like, that guy is so creative, and so not just creative in terms of, he can think up good ideas, but like creative in that he's meticulous, like small, like minute details. Like, who would think, like, hey, I'm gonna put like coordinates in an HTML code and have that be a part of this thing. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just that's deep rooted creativity. And yeah, that's what he has. And that's, I don't know. Like, to me, that's so valuable. But the difference, actually, I'd say, is that it's not Hollywood. Like, it's professional wrestling. So you could be as creative as you want, but you have to have the booking on the backside to kind of give credibility and legitimacy to what he's doing. And saying, and like the creativity of the character. Like, I think you have to have that too. And that's what I think has been missing with Bray for so long. And so I hope they find it here. I think they're going to. I mean, that's the vibe that I get, that it's going to be something that they take care of. Yeah, Chris, he's got to stay away from the bloodline for a long time. And I mean, like, really long. Maybe not even ever cross paths. Like, because it could just get so messy. And they've got history already, Reigns and him, not personally, but like storyline wise. And yeah, you really gotta just, take care with that. Marcus, thank you. Good to see you. Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. We've been here for a long time. I've taken a lot of your guys' time. I'm really glad that you guys were here for this, though, and continue to help make not just this show, but the channel and the YouTube channel in general, and the Torch in general. You guys are just a great, just great people, and it's always a blast hanging out with you guys for these pay-per-views. So with that said, I'm going to ride off into the sunset. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Give us a chance. Surprise, not surprise, but subscribe. What am I trying to say here? Subscribe to the channel. We very much appreciate it, and keep coming back, because we are live every day of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day. So amidst other things that hit the channel too. So just keep it locked there. PWTorch.com will have all sorts of updates on the Bray Wyatt return, news that may break around that, and a host of other things. You guys all know PWTorch.com is where you gotta go for your fix. So to Metal Brand and Dr. Ross and Ashley and Dark and Chris and Tracy, Dustin, I said Ashley already, but Ashley again, Azan, and everybody else who joined us on the show tonight, thank you. If you're listening to this on demand and watching this on demand, thank you as well. Very much appreciate it. We will be back Monday afternoon live to preview Raw, which should be interesting now, given that Bray Wyatt has returned to WWE. So we will we'll tackle that all then. Thanks once again. Appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next time.